got my timing right this time. That's exciting.
Oh, first time in 40 episodes.
Oh man.
I actually did a countdown. I'm gonna take ourselves off the spotlight here and have everybody on camera like normal. Okay, hi, we're here. We're back.
All right, we did it. That's it.
That's it. All right.
Goodbye.
Enjoyable
Game
session.
over.
I hope everybody entered the giveaway. Congratulations to the winners. Goodbye.
Did we get level 5?
No.
No.
You actually go back down to level 3.
Level 6.
Oh.
All right, I'm gonna hand this right over to you, Waffles, because I think we need to start off with like a nice little highlight reel of what all happened in Arc 1. Like, let's remind everyone and ourselves, because we have great memories about what happened.
Yeah.
I remember all what you're talking about.
Do you? All right, you can do it then.
All right,
Pass.
speed run, go.
Speed run. No, I'm just kidding. So you guys started on Akiton.
He was totally ready. I just want to say that.
I know. I saw it. I saw that fast. But you guys started on. Maybe I'll kick it over randomly to people, and then we'll play popcorn. Like once someone's just done talking. Well, we call it popcorn in the South. Like when you're reading and you.
Yeah, popcorn. Yeah.
There you go. Ooh, that's good.
What is that?
Yeah,
What
that's
did you
the
call
correct-
Popcorn's when you're like reading and like you get to a spot and then you get to call someone's name to pick up where you left off. Basically.
it's
I have
popcorn.
never
Yeah.
done
What did
that.
you call
I
it?
never did that in
Yeah.
school. That's weird. But okay.
Yeah.
The only way teachers could promote other people to read is by making someone start and then they either pick on somebody or choose their friends.
Yep,
Or
pick on
it's
someone,
snakes.
choose their friends, and then it makes you like it makes you pay attention too because you have to pick up from where they left off. Like, and there's no, it's usually it can't. Sometimes it's like not even the end of paragraphs and stuff. Like, all
it away.
right, so
Popcorn
that's what
it
we're
up.
gonna do. That's what we're gonna do. You ready? All right, you guys started on Akiton. You met the dude. I forgot his name already because you guys didn't really like him and never
Metz.
talked to him again. Metz. There we go. You guys met Metz. The Redskin
Right.
Actonian who sent you out with Naynal on a mission to grab a ship and pop off to the Silver Drake. Twek and
Oh, right.
Twek and Twak.
Reckon track.
His ride took you down Akidon.
Twak.
Yeah,
His
in his
twak.
Twek. A little Twak. As you guys were going, a human fell out of the sky and crashed into your car. That's not what really happened, but that's what I said happened.
Oh.
I was like, wait
I
a
was like, I
second.
remember this vividly, and I'm totally not remembering that.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that's what I said happened. We came back from the break and I was like,
Oh, yeah,
a
that
human
is true.
fell out of the sky. But no, you got a Kafax came out and wrecked your car. A Kafuk. And then one of them turned out to be radiated, as Dr. Lin and other people found out with different checks, which is odd, obviously. But you guys, unscathed, came out of that. Zeha,
Almost
one shot.
unscathed.
yeah, almost unscathed. Zeha one shot one of them. I remember. Oh, we got a cat on screen. The
Hi,
best.
cat.
Varso, I didn't know you had a cat.
Well, he doesn't join me for Starfinder very often.
I thought you didn't like animals.
What?
All right.
I like animals. What?
Cats aren't
You heard-
animals.
You heard it here. Varso's an animal hater.
Oh no. Yeah,
Cats
I
aren't
hate-
animals. That's true. But the Kafax came out, wrecked your car. You guys fixed it up. Moat and Twik fixed it up. You guys continued on, got on the ship, took off. Some hijinks ensued with Naynal on the ship, Wasp and stuff flying around in different rooms. And then you guys landed on Upwell, which is above the Roselight settlement.
I already have a question, which is like, okay, can I ask this question out loud so that I won't forget it, and then we can talk about it when it's appropriate?
Sure.
I want theories as to why there was a radiated Kefek, and if we think that has anything to do with the adaptation serum, or if that's just
100%.
something on that planet
I think
unrelated
now.
for our level 1 selves.
Waffles went way too out of his way to say how unusual and bizarre this is way before we knew that thing was there. So 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I bet it lived in an irradiated area and had like exposure to the adaptation.
We probably passed like.
But the adaptation series
like-
wasn't there, and we didn't think
We probably passed the
That
adaptation.
you know of.
That's
yeah,
true.
we don't
That's
know what
true.
they tested on.
I'm just saying it brings it up because I hadn't really thought about it since
Good
then.
thing we didn't get distracted by this question.
But
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
have I have a comment about Kafax later that we learned
Do you
after
have
we
a
had that
fact
fight.
about Kafax?
Apparently their hides
it.
are extremely valuable, and we left out like 3,000 credits.
Oh, did
Oh,
nobody?
what?
Like to
Did
like
nobody
this
do
day,
like a good
I was
enough
still,
check to identify that? Oh my god.
Yeah, and,
None of
and
us
I'm
even
still
bothered
like,
to think
But
about
we
it.
sucked.
I'm still deeply sad that we left out like 3,000 to
This
4,000
is the
credits.
first I'm
with
hearing
those
about
crowds.
this, Eisen. This is not okay.
Eisen, at the same time, the thing was blasting radiation all around. Nobody
That
wanted
makes
to
it more
hug
valuable. That actually makes it more valuable.
Goodness. Okay.
Okay. But you guys took off on the ship. Hijinks ensued. Wasp flew around into different people's rooms, and you landed on the
Rude.
Upwell space station above Roselight. Take it away, Carrot.
Ooh.
Oh.
He was busy.
So yeah, we got to
he was busy
Upwell.
being
I
mean
was
to
busy
Jim.
shit talking Jim. Yeah. That's an honored pastime for me.
That's true. We love Jim.
Yeah. No. I mean, anybody
Well,
that
that's
gets
not
shit
true.
on by Carrick is an honored member of the community.
To be fair, that's most of us.
yeah.
Let's go! I must be the
We're
most
so
honored.
honored.
What's
Yeah,
the
right,
king?
right. Alright, sorry.
So Upwell, we got on Upwell. Everything seemed great because immediately Nanal became super shitty by being like, "Yo, I got like a secret thing I got to go do, so I'll see you later." And we're like, "Hey, maybe don't do that." And she's like, "Nah, deuces." So
I'm out of here. Peace.
We tried to spy
so
on her.
Moat put a little
Sure.
buggy in the baggie to go with Nanal, and we didn't spy on her too much because we were respecting her privacy, and she
At
was
that
just
point of the
making it-
story, the party was lawful.
Yeah. Remember
Man,
those?
I mean,
days?
we
still
still
most
are, but
lawful.
we're still
was I
lawful.
ever?
But the problem is, Nanal's not. She's a bitch. Hate her.
Now we know that, but honestly,
She's
Varso's
chaotic
reaction
bitch.
at the time as Dr. Len, like the one to immediately put his tentacle down instead of his foot down, to be
Ambi.
like, "Whoa, why are we spying on her? That's not right." I was immediately like, "Oh, we have a lawful person in the party. This is gonna be interesting because we're typically very chaotic." But that didn't last long.
Yep.
Yeah, between Eisen and Dr. Lin, some lawful feelings going around, I think.
Mhm.
All right,
Tetsu
Kurt.
was-
No,
what
that
are you
was
talking
just-
about? Tetsu was.
That was just basic
Yeah.
human decency.
I
only-
feel like Tetsu
We're
was
not
on
humans.
it. Tetsu
I
was
just
on it
wanted
at
the
that
tracking
time.
device on her because
Yeah, Tetsu was
and-
on it at that time, but I think he strikes me as more of like a true neutral. Like,
Yeah.
I'll do this,
No,
but I'll do
he's-
this.
He's like chaotic or neutral good, chaotic good range is where Tetsu is.
We're gonna get into everybody's individual
But-
characters
yeah.
exactly.
That's-
But
that's
anyway, yeah. So Nanal like derped off, and then we decided to start planning for the Silver Drake by planning this massive hack into it, and we are gonna big brain it. But then we decided that would be a terrible idea, and then Nanal showed back up and was like, "Yo, you guys weren't about to do anything dumb," and we're like, "Nah." And
We like got the bartender all in on it for a second too, and then we're like, never mind.
You're gonna hack it from an Applebee's computer, basically.
yeah, like
What a
any
bad
good
idea.
hacker. No, it's great.
Eisen was prepared for like that to go sideways and to throw you guys under the bus. Like he was just waiting for that moment to be like, "It's those guys, arrest them," and just laugh. He was waiting.
Well, anyway,
That's a vote of
so
confidence.
yeah, we decided, okay, let's not do this. We went down to the Silver Drake, preparing for shenanigans. Did not at all expect the shenanigans that happened because, like, first thing that as we get in there, everything starts to go normal, and then like Tetsu's like, oh, there's a hacker person here. That's weird. And then Dr. Len being totally not sus outside, like looking through a newspaper, watching the Silver Drake, was like, hey, there's like a Vesk walking in and he looks like he's up to no good. And then sure enough, Vesk was totally up to no good. And we split the party in a way by
beautifully, if you ask me.
I don't know if it was beautifully. Two of us were abandoned to die
work
where
of
we
not
fought
really.
for our fucking lives. Fought for our fucking lives, and then meanwhile in the back we had like 2.5 people because Moat was not there for that session. Like,
But he
sipping
was very
tea and,
still
like,
useful in terms of like the scene. Like
he
was
was
our
super
outside
useful
scout.
in the next session. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was super useful in the next session when he came back.
But
He was
but
constantly our outside
they would have
intel.
never
Yeah.
they would have never
Yeah.
been there if they weren't outside the whole other session.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
like for Zeha and Eisen, it was really helpful having Moat where he was.
Yeah.
It was. It actually
Basically,
played
Coop,
out
thank
well
you.
because
Thank you for not being here and making that scene go perfectly. That's
Well,
what everyone's
well, the
saying.
re-
more.
the reason it went so well was because like that whole session was everything inside the building, and the next session was everything outside the building. So it became all like it was like, all right, focus on those two, and then suddenly Moat's got this death bomb that they had to run away with, and nearly died in the process, and then nearly got the AI killed in the process, and then we almost anyway. So in the Silver Drake, big fight. Meanwhile, there was like a whole bunch of shenanigans in the back with them like trying to sneak away with some AI thing that we found.
Sipping tea and making
and-
friends.
That was our first
Yeah,
time like
and-
learning the whole subplot that existed with Nanal. Right, like she blindsided us and was just like, yeah, okay, so we need this thing.
Yeah, there was like a hacker
hate
crew
Nanal.
and all had on the inside, and then us, and then there was a third party, and then that session pretty much ended with Tetsu walking in the back and getting shot by totally Zeha.
Nope.
Totally
Allegedly.
Zeha.
Allegedly.
I
Real quick,
distinctly remember Zeha betrayed Tetsu.
the
That's all I
person
know.
in the computer room that was hacking that was on Nanal's side,
Yeah.
was she dead when we
I
left?
We
think
don't
she got
It hit
know
with like a
that
trank
died.
dart.
Ooh,
And, she
Waffles
got,
shook
got
his
like
head.
tranquilized.
Yeah, she got put to sleep. She was not dead when you left.
Yeah,
Oh,
as far as we
shit.
know.
So we
Well,
may have
We
left
don't know
somebody.
what happened. We
Okay.
did leave somebody.
No, like that
Straight up
that
left
she may not have escaped. Like we don't know what happened to her.
Yeah. Yeah.
But most
Uh,
definitely
but
did
anyway-
not
Her own
escape.
fault.
Looking
Yeah,
at Waffles'
like-
face.
Yeah. The question
I mean,
is, she
She was asleep on the floor, and you guys ran away with the box. So, like, what else? They're gonna secure the building. Probably within like a minute or two, she got found.
Yeah.
If anything, though, she has a good excuse of just like, I was watching cat videos, things went strange, and then I got tranquilized by
Yeah,
a
they don't know.
mummy.
They don't know what she was doing.
no,
they don't know.
she is 100% a prisoner or dead. One of the two.
They don't
find
know
the
until
hacking device
they
in your
ID her,
pocket, like,
and then they
Right.
ID her as like a notorious like hacker, and you're like, no, okay, fuck.
They just go look at the computer she was on. Oh, this thing was doing some weird stuff. Okay, arrest her
Yeah.
and torture her for
There-
information.
Yeah, there's no arresting with this group. But
Yeah, you think how
Um,
they have tabs on us? 100%. That woman.
yeah, but then we left and we went to the Starfinder base, and it was blown up, and Eisen can take it from here.
Ooh.
From there, we entered the building, kind of did some CSI, trying to figure out what the hell happened. as the
CSI
building
Miami.
was literally like exploded from the inside out. We found an android. Yeah, she was an android survivor.
Isn't
Dr.
he?
Len did like 7 natural 20s that session, I think, to save her
Every
life.
session.
And from there, we were able to actually charge Grace using the building itself as a power source. We did some in-character stuff.
I stole
Like
a
I
bunch
said,
of
Dr.
Starfinder shit.
The data,
yeah.
yeah, we couldn't find
Data,
any good
yeah.
like the data, not like any physical materials or guns or anything like.
Far more useful
could've
than physical
Nothing
material.
cool.
not a chest full of credits or anything, sadly.
No, not a leftover KFAC radiated body. Nothing like
Yeah,
that.
or anything like that. From there, we kind of recollected ourselves. We snuck back to the ship.
You skipped one thing.
Did I?
Sorry,
What did I skip?
you skipped one important thing actually. That is also where you learned about the message from Yaleon 2235
Right, I was getting there. I forgot that it happened there. I thought that happened back on the ship.
from Esne.
Yes.
And we,
okay,
we
so
took
the,
Esme with us.
yes,
Yeah.
we waffled there for a second, but we did in fact take her with us. And we learned
Tetsu's like,
that-
no, we gotta take her. And you're like, no, we should leave her.
Yeah, one of Akatan's moons was attacked we thought at the time. We didn't quite know.
Not
what
the
was going on.
moon.
Yeah, it was
Like
it was
the
one of
base
moons.
on the moon.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was on the moon.
We
It
don't
wasn't
know-
like the.
Oh yeah, no, the moon
It
itself.
wasn't like the moon was invaded.
There
Yeah,
was an
but-
attack at a
Starfinder
location,
thing.
at an unspecified location on one of the
on
moons.
the moon. Yes.
Luke,
Okay.
they're trying to blow up the moon.
And from
That
there,
is no moon.
it was about a collective that was needing help. We did some back and forth whether we were going to take this mission or not. We finally decided to kind of halfway take it until we got confirmation from the Starfinder Society that we would in fact need to take this mission
think
to actually.
Ninal was
credit?
actually trying to convince us to take
No.
it. She was kind of like, if you
it
want to
made
get
it
in with the
extra
Starfinders,
suspicious.
this would
Right.
super help. And now I'm beginning to think that is suspicious.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, the
she was
argument.
dog whistling at us, and you guys are
Well,
like, "No, she's not telling us to do it."
Yeah, the argument came up basically in front of her that, well, we need to get Ninal back. That's our mission. And she was like, whoa. Like, if you want to go find some information and tell me that, you can take me with you. That's okay. Let's go.
Yeah,
Like,
no. We did
Oh,
none
and
of that.
we were
let-
just like, lulz no, when we found information out. And yeah.
basically, yeah.
Yeah. We weren't falling for that trick.
I think
We
I
were at
got
least
yet
wise enough.
another thing of information out of her later on too. I was like, yeah, I'll tell you. And then she told me something, and then I was like, yeah, no, this is a crew only. Goodbye.
Well, when we got attacked by, when we met up with the orc when we left the planet before we got to the moon, we tried to get her to tell us things about Grace,
right.
but she wanted like extra pay for it, and we were like, anything you have is not worth the.
Yeah, she was gonna like cut our pay.
hassle.
She was basically gonna not have to pay us if she gave us information, and I didn't.
Right, and she was like, it's
Yeah,
secret
that's right.
information that I was specifically not told to answer, but I'll tell you if like you let these things happen, and we're just like,
Sus
no.
AF.
Yeah, we weren't playing that game.
Yeah, this review was a bad idea.
We're gonna do it.
Everyone's like, remember these 18 things that she did very sussly in a row? That we only really remembered like the 2 at the time?
Yeah. What do
I
you think
said
this
from the
review's gonna
start she
do?
was
We're gonna
sus and sucky.
unravel your plot, Waffles, right now here, this session.
There's no unraveling. I said it again. Terrible.
I'm sure Ninal's still going to be a main character NPC now that I showed flashbacks of her to you.
No, she is definitely
No.
going to be a main character NPC. She's the BBEG of like the second arc or some shit.
Yeah,
I
or like the
mean-
second.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna get to kill her, and I'm gonna be so excited for that.
No.
You-
Is
So how do you
That's
want to do this?
evil
Goes
arc
for like
is
10
in.
minutes.
is
Like, crush
Ninal
her
Lena?
skull. Yeah. Oh my god, it could be. Could be her reincarnated.
All the letters are there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and an extra.
What?
No. Go back to what you just said. Forget the extra.
I was about to say,
this cools
Lena-
down before I pick back up again.
Lena
So-
didn't have an H. So.
No,
That's what I'm saying, yeah, there's-
it all
there's
matches.
extra.
No, it matches because
It's a
of how
silent
we
H.
spell it, Waffles, not how you spell it.
Waffles, we're on to you, man.
She's clearly Neil Diamond because all the letters are there
Wait.
for Neil.
Doesn't Ninal have an H in there?
Yeah.
Trying to throw us off?
No,
No, Lena doesn't.
Lena
Oh.
doesn't have an H in
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
There could be. I could spell with an H.
Like
We-
lay.
we never
No,
confirmed how
okay,
Lena
okay.
actually spells her name, so.
Look, there
Alright,
could be a
alright.
lot of letters in a lot of people's names that are silent, but that doesn't make it true.
Alright, take it away.
Okay, from there we actually did go to Akatan's moon. We had kind of an alien isolation moment of like sneaking through this deserted lab that was covered in mutated fungus. We fought some robots. We got to find that Tetsu doesn't like electricity. That was fun. At least I had fun with it. From there, we did the, like I said, Resident Evil alien isolation thing of going through the abandoned facility, and we made it to like the end research lab that was covered in evil goo and the corpse of the person that we were meant to find, because we took an 8-hour rest before we actually entered the facility, as time does that.
No regrets. We
Um,
had to.
Well, your tank was at one hit point
We
What
we
if
shouldn't
our
have had
ten-
to.
We had to.
because the doctor and the tank were fighting for their goddamn lives because some people were having like some chill fest in the back room.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, that's how I remember it.
I agree. I back that all up. You guys are just hanging out, like making buddies while we're just dying, getting slaughtered.
Hey, I got the bucks.
You
That's what
won.
matters.
Yeah, I
Twice
got
now
them,
I've
I
kicked
got
his
them out
ass.
safely. I did the job. I followed the parameters of the job. But anyway, let's actually.
You may have gotten the box, but you lost a friend. So
I
Rick.
hear you, brother. I hear you.
hope it was worth it.
The funny thing is
Alright,
that
alright.
you think Zeha lightly thinks of you as a friend that way.
Well, we're gonna get into it actually, because all right, I'm not talking about interpersonal relationships right now.
Yeah. Well,
We'll never be done with this.
we'll get there. So in the main room,
I don't think we will.
Moat got cuddled to death by like what would you call it? Like an
Death
abomination,
hug.
like
Oh.
A love machine.
a plant tentacle thing.
I was.
Do
it
we have the
was-
token? Can we pull up that token? Can we show the audience what that creature looked like? It was super weird.
I definitely can.
Yeah, here. I just brought us over to the map. Show us the way. Do it. You won't.
It's like essentially a roper.
Yeah, like a alien
Yeah,
roper.
Basically.
It
It
had.
was bigger. Like
Yeah, it was some mutated form of something. Like it wasn't an original creature that like we recognized, right?
No, it was like some organic material that eventually like kind of adapted and became something that could eventually get out and eat people.
By the way, important note. That's
Yeah,
something
but it
that I
is
wanted
a lot like
to.
a roper.
Yeah.
It is a lot.
One of the things I wanted to mention in regards to the algae-like substance that we were encountering, it definitely only like it took over where there was live things like organic matter, and it left a lot of the technology alone. So like when we went down to the like here, this is like the food storage room, that was ridiculous and all that kind of stuff. It was just interesting.
It did affect books and stuff as well.
Yeah, which is
like,
organic matter.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, what's that creature look like? Show us.
Oh, I thought I showed you. Hold on.
There it
Yeah,
goes.
there we
Ew.
go.
There we go.
That's gross.
I think we should also point out how close this fight was because
Yeah.
apparently Moat, Tetsu, Aizen, and Wasp all went down. So it was up
Yeah.
to Len and Zeha who were like on their last legs.
Yeah, and I was terrified
greatest
in
fighters we
character.
had.
I like it was Dr. Len doesn't really do all that much damage, and you were just missing constantly at the time or something
Yeah,
like
you
that.
sucked, Lynn.
And
Good.
goodness,
Were
keep
horrible.
roasting me.
it was scary. Like
I'm
honestly,
a healer.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But
Are
it was,
you? I was dead.
And I think
Oh, and
you
who
would-
healed you from that?
I think you kept
Me.
missing.
I used
think
the resolve
you kept
point.
missing.
Yeah, you tried shooting us with your healing
With
darts
healing.
and you sucked.
That was
that is
that was
not
prior.
tried,
That was prior to you being. I think it was prior to you being able to even. I'm not sure if it was prior to you even being able to shoot healing darts. It wasn't because you tried to shoot the android too, but it was prior to your little programmable thing that allowed you to automatically hit people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I wasn't trying to like stabilize people. I was running up to them and giving 4 hit points back.
Basically, what we really like, Zeha was terrified, and I think it made for a freaking amazing moment where I mean, this is for me, and I'm totally biased because it was my character, but like I ran up in there, and it was one of the first times that I had used like that offensive spell properly, and I just like zapped the fuck out of that thing and murdered it, and it was like a beautiful. I don't know if it was a nat 20 or something. It was beautiful, whatever it was. No, it wasn't. It was literally 2 points away from the DC, and because I was flanking, it was the only reason I got the hit. It was this like beautiful
Yeah.
moment.
It's because
That's right.
Aizen got back up and was able to like distract it enough so that you could get the cone blow
yeah.
and get
It was
out of
it was a
space.
finesse of the placement, and it was beautiful. And she was really shaken after that. But we'll get back to it.
And it turns out that like the mutation factor was transmissible through like touch and bite.
Oh yeah.
And so we
Poor
like
Moat.
as the aftermath, once like we picked ourselves off the floor in the puddles we were in, we realized, wait a second, a lot of us got horribly injured during that fight. Are we actually like
Are we okay?
okay? Yeah.
Turns out.
And poor
Moat. Nope.
poor Zeha had like only just recovered from her radiation like the day
Yeah.
prior. So
Yeah.
like we were all kind of shaken for various reasons.
It was that morning, I think, because we had taken that rest
Yeah.
that I had figured it out. Yeah. Additionally, by the way, we missed two this reminded me of the glitch in the Matrix, so we missed 2 glitches. Back down on Roselight, there was a moment where our lovely audience glitched the Matrix, and some the 2, we call them Fennec Foxes. What are their actual names, Waffles?
Fennec.
Squawxes.
Squawxes, yeah.
Yeah. The Squawxes that were from the Silver Drake showed up, like, glitched in Tetsu and somebody else's pouches.
Len.
Len.
Dr.
Yeah,
Len.
we did a roll off.
And that seemed pretty, like, non-eventful in and of itself. We're like, okay, we don't know what glitching the Matrix does, but we can't look at them.
As far as we know.
As far as we know,
I
but
have
it was like we
pets
couldn't
living
see
under my
them.
bed.
If you look at them, they disappear, something like that. But then we had a second glitch of the Matrix right about here, and this plant back here disappeared from our current existence, and who knows where it went, and I'm sure that's not at all gonna terribly affect the plot.
Honestly, it could be helpful. For all we know, it could solve everything.
We have zero idea, but considering where we have now seen the adaptation serum, I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
No, that's gonna kill a bunch of people. That's not good.
Well, I mean, like, what if it just disappeared into, like, the drift somewhere, never to be found again? That's pretty harmless.
Or, like,
It
just
didn't.
teleport it into a sun somewhere and just caught
Burn
fire.
to a crisp. Yeah, we
Yeah.
can be hopeful. We can be positive.
It would adapt.
Yeah.
It would adapt to the sun.
Yeah.
Oh god, that'd be terrifying.
That's terrifying. Fire space plants would be terrifying.
I'm sure he's not joking. You guys have seen that episode of Doctor Who, right?
No.
Living Sun? Get
Oh
cultured,
yeah, that
please.
one.
I think
Yeah.
so. It's been a while.
Don't,
Anyways.
Don't.
It's a weird episode.
Anyways, from there we
They're all
picked ourselves
weird.
up
It's
off the
Doctor Who.
floor, and we made it back to why am I thinking Absalom Station? There we go. And from
Absalom?
there,
Absalom.
you know who should pick it up? Moat. Moat should pick it up from here, considering he was the only one affected by the serum.
Oh well, yeah, no, that was a whole lot of fun. I think one thing we should probably also mention is the absolute assload of information we got hacking the lab.
Yeah.
We got
Right.
so much information about the fact that
We hauled that
the
computer
Starfinder
away.
Society was hacking the experiments that were done, and it was also being
Wait.
there was
that's
a
not-
They're
nameless
backing the
organization
original one.
from the Vast that
Wait.
was
the Starfinder
originally
Society
commissioning the research.
backed it?
They backed the experiment in 327
Oh,
AG.
at the very beginning, then they
but
stopped it.
in the middle of in the middle of the year, the experiment stopped providing useful information, and then I believe they stopped at some point and kind of like didn't want to continue with it. But that nameless organization from the Vast, which we believe Dr. Len might have some experience with, continued the experimentation, kept funding it, and breakthroughs kept popping up, and basically Yalian said that he was scared to continue, but
Yeah, they were
he
pushing
says
him.
it's no longer worth it at some point.
They were pushing him a little more than he wanted to be pushed into, like, the testing on people territory kind of thing, instead of just like, does this plant evolve? No. Okay.
Right. And
And we-
Because it
I think
sounded
that's
like the Pathfinders were doing or Starfinders were doing dangerous research, but not inhumane. But then these
I
people
mean,
were
at the time that
let's
the
ramp it up to
Starfinder-
11.
Yeah, at the time the Starfinder was doing it, I think they were talking about adaptation and how it would help things. I mean, I don't know this, but that's kind of what I'm hoping in terms of they were just looking at it
That's
as
what
a
Tetsu
theory, and then they didn't actually get any results. They didn't actually have anything to do with it going in the negative. That was all that organization. What's the name of that organization again?
We think it's the
Tellus
Tellus
Corporation.
company.
The Tellus Corporation, right?
We think.
It was nameless in the data.
It was nameless in the
Yeah,
data,
we
but
can-
then we got that connection at some
It sounds
point.
close.
There was some connection that we drew from it.
Len said that it was his the organization he knew of based off of previous research that he knew from his own, right? That this
Yeah.
was a derivative of his research, so it would make sense.
Oh, right.
organization was
That
part
would
of
be
it.
that organization. Right. Yeah, so
He is
then we all blame Dr. Len for the adaptation.
Yep. Yep. And we continue to do so. But as we get to Absalom Station, our goal begins to be, well, our original goal, join the Starfinder Society. So we go and meet up with the venture captain, Arvin, and make our way to the Lore Spire complex on the station after taking a little bit of time for ourselves to explore or settle in for a little bit. And we share the information that we have. We try to essentially get as much as possible out of the deal and try to, I guess, avoid the topic of what all we found on, let's see. What was the name of the moon? Shit, I forgot already.
Definitely shit.
Which moon?
Yeah,
Arcanen.
Arcanen, yes. Arcanen. Arcanen, Arcananana. We tried to avoid giving that kind of information, but I believe we ended up just divulging everything, which was, in a sense, something that was good for our recommendation into the ranks. And essentially, after we were accepted into the Starfinder Society, it kind of colors the missions that we're going to be going on. We were told we had 4 days of downtime in which we were prepared to head out for the oh god, I can't remember names. Trying to remember names.
Idari.
Looking it up.
Yeah.
Idari. To go meet with the council of the Ramsem 10 and get some information leading to something that would help out the AI Grace that we had that we are now carting around.
And bring the null with you.
Oh yeah, we had to bring that thing too.
That thing.
So
Storage bin.
yeah, pretty much. So what we did, we took a little bit of time for ourselves, went and did some shopping. Some of us took in the credits that we were loaned by the Starfinder Society, and others decided not to. Ironically, they got better hotel rooms than we did, so it's just kind of bullshit.
You could have gone to the hotel.
No. Yeah, you 100% chose.
We
to,
already
like,
had a
it.
balance. Like, we're not gonna try to take more of their stuff. Like, come on, we're being loaned 1,000 credits. It's gonna be really high interest. It's stupid. It's like, oh yes, take our free look.
In the downtime before we
Moat
left,
also felt like garbage because
Right.
they were sick because of the adaptation serum. So during that time, Moat was also treated by Dr. Len, and
Tattoo.
Not just
right
Len
before
didn't
our-
get his license back. Remember?
yeah, I was gonna
that's
say
true. That's true.
each in this kind of downtime, each of us got interesting information. I think about each of our individual storylines, so to speak. Like,
I would argue one of us didn't get interesting information and more asserted interesting information onto other members of the party unwillingly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I think that's just Eisen.
Take my story, damn it! Get my doctor now.
Look.
Okay.
Blackmail is a perfectly legitimate way of making sure that you get good health.
That wasn't even blackmail.
Blackmail and
Straight
legitimate
up
don't belong in the
threat.
same
That wasn't
sentence.
blackmail.
Yeah,
You just asked me
blackmail,
to.
legitimate. That's not.
There was no asking either.
It was legitimately blackmail.
Yes, it was. And also a threat to his life as well. There was blackmail and an active threat to his life.
Absolutely. So
Lawful went out the window.
can we really briefly go through like what each person learned about themselves, or like what that downtime developed for their personal stories, or do we want to do that after?
We can go through it if you want. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't.
So we talked about Eisen, you dumping your tragic backstory on Dr. Len without him asking. Talk a little bit more about that.
It's not tragic backstory. He just has a little bit of a medical problem that, he needs some help with, constant medical care. It's important to, make sure one is always healthy, right? Like, it's just the need for, assistance, right? It's making sure that he can do the job properly. He needs certain medical care to make sure that he's in
I
tip-top
think
shape at all
it
times.
showed some insight into Eisen that we hadn't seen that yet, which was a very distinct, like, I'm going to take care of myself with disregard to
Yes.
politeness, or like whatever you call it. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, what was it that you
Common
specifically said that
decency?
you had? You had something against Dr. Lin, and that's why you were using it? Like, what was your reasoning?
My reasoning was that if I tell him something is sensitive about myself, I have something that's equally as sensitive of his that I can use as leverage.
And that was
if,
his doctorate thing, or the Telus Corporation thing?
The Telus Corporation thing, and the fact that like his serum is out. So like because of Eisen's background, and I don't know how like spoilery we want to get about.
We can get
like,
more into it
character
later.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like because of certain things that are going on in his background, he has a very big target on his back in the form of a very expensive bounty. And understanding that Len saved that android back at Roswell.
Yeah.
Like
And
that
killed the
whole
other
thing was really important.
Awesomely.
But Eisen wasn't there for that, so he doesn't know.
That's true. That's true.
Len didn't
Yeah,
say
Eisen was
shit.
cowering in the other room.
No. When we dug her out of the
No.
out of the dream.
Yeah. The
Esme,
other one
yeah.
at the Silver Drake, he shot and killed
Data.
the other android.
Yeah. I wasn't there. I
know.
left them be. So yeah. But like seeing him roll like the 5 natural 20s and then understanding a little bit of his research when we went to the laboratory and understanding that like connected enough dots for Eisen to be like, he can be helpful and I can make sure that he doesn't screw me over later. And so all of those things was
Admirable
enough for him to
reasoning.
say, like, I'm going to open up here and take a risk and hope that it goes well, knowing that I can probably kill him if I need to.
Yeah. And then speaking of Dr. Len's
can try.
developments. Speaking of Dr. Len's developments on the lovely Telus Corporation and things like that, when we first landed with the Starfinder Society, they were like, "Oh, we'll give you your degree back. You're gonna be a doctor
Yeah.
again."
They
was so
promised me a
sad.
medical license, and then like the next day I get a call from the Starfinder Society, and they like, "Oh, you got blacklisted by some like random dudes a million miles away.
Uh-huh.
Can't give you your license back. Screw you." And Len's
We, the
just-
foremost exploration and
Aw.
informational authority in the system. I can't do anything. Sorry.
we don't want some random dudes to be pissed at us. But
I mean, basically, it was just like, "Oh, something happened where you lost." You're like, "Yeah, no, we're the Starfinder Society. Sure, we'll get you your license back. Go and do your research." "Oh, you royally fucked up. Sorry, dude, we
Yeah.
cannot help you." Ooh.
never mind.
Yeah,
But
they
that's
did let-
rough.
Can I just say it's really weird that they didn't know that ahead of time? Like they knew all of our stuff ahead of time. They knew everything about Zeha's background, everything about my background, everything about Moat's.
I don't think it's weird because the Telus Corporation itself is a complicated corporation. So they might have known what he did in the past and been like, "Oh, he's associated with it," but that doesn't mean that like without looking into trying to reinstate a medical license that they would understand how badly he's blackmailed or not blackmailed.
Blackmailed.
Yeah, blacklisted.
Blacklisted.
Now he's blackmailed.
Yes.
Mail listed.
He was before.
Spoilers.
Yes.
Okay. Tetsu, you also got disappointing news.
No, I just keep getting like my information keeps getting mixed up with other things, so it's kind of inconvenient. But I'll figure it out because Dr. Duro has no reason to be in jail.
Like Supermax jail. Like it's not just like
jail, not
yeah,
just jail.
yeah.
Turbo jail.
Turbo space
Like-
jail.
Like we sent Riddick there, and Riddick didn't get out jail.
Yeah.
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 Why would Dr. Duro and who's this Dr. Duro again for you?
He's my bestie. He made, repaired, healed Tetsu, whatever Tetsu needed. I don't know.
Built
made
you
you-
like Mega Man.
The man you are today.
Yeah. Him and Crick.
Father
Him and
figure.
Crick made me who I am. Yeah. So Dr. Duro is a great guy. He made me. I'm a good person, so therefore Dr. Duro is a good person. And he was always nice to me, so
Cut
I
to
don't know why he's in a super prison.
cut to what we learned about you a few stories down. We'll
Yeah.
get there.
Well, that's a couple. Again, not a full match, so I don't know if it counts.
It's his twin. Look,
It's
there's a thing about like Kanobos.
we have to get there. We have to get there. The
Well,
audience
we all
hasn't taken
look
that
alike
journey with
a
us
little
yet.
Where this entire session is the recap.
Yeah, honestly. Right? Okay,
Jesus.
speed run.
Pop
For
quiz.
me,
What's the Supermax prison's name?
I know.
I know.
I forget.
hold on. It's in my
You know
notes.
because you just looked at your notes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just seeing. If
I
you
have my
know.
notes in the other room. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. I have it written down though.
Hold on.
But it's super locked down.
I'm gonna get it.
So anyway,
Nope, not gonna get it.
Diagax 4.
Diagox.
Diagox. Oh, I was just saying that. Oh, well, at
Diagox
least I knew.
4. Actually, it's on the planet
4.
of Diagox 4. It's just an inescapable corporate prison on the planet of Diagox 4.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
All right, so
I was
I'm
imagining
gonna,
it like floating through space, like the Futurama jail.
we are gonna have to speed run this fucking recap. So really quick for me, I learned a couple interesting things because first of all, in the conversation with the Starfinder Society, there was this like hint thing that I realized at the time I actually didn't like interpret correctly, but he was basically saying like for some impossible reason, the Starfinder Society was somewhat aware of the Ramsem 10's like ulterior functions is how I'll say it, and that they're not just like an entertainment company or like, you know, like a thing on the Adari, which is really weird and sus and potentially implies that there is maybe somebody on the Ramsem Council that is speaking with the Starfinders. Sus.
have you met that council? It's totally dysfunctional.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
counts
Oh,
as
yeah.
a mess.
Well, yes, it is.
So to speak on that, I think we'll just go ahead and throw it to Syrup
Oh,
to
God.
take us through the
Through the
journeys of the Adari.
Okay.
I don't know if Syrup can do it justice. She wasn't there for the cluster.
But additionally, though, I do want to mention that in the downtime, I went to one of the places that was basically a technomancer like school and museum / thing, and I went there and my headband was recognized as my grandmother's, which is where it's from, and they gave me a contact that I still haven't reached out to. So that's on my to-do coming up. But anyways, so yeah, so we left our lovely downtime and we head to the Adari to Zeha's like absolute chagrin and nerves and everything. And we head there and I'm recognized, and it's this like really, really awkward thing of like, yeah, I'm not supposed to be here because I'm supposed to be out on my tempering, but here I am doing a job. Sup, y'all? So I take y'all to our home and we meet with the Ramsem 10 Council. My mother makes things super awkward and pulls me aside from the rest of the group to have a chat with me. Yes. What's up?
To be fair, when we first got there, they immediately tried to extort us. Like, before the like guy stood up from the table and immediately was like, "Who are you guys? What are you doing?" and tried to like extort us.
Yeah.
Give me some
Oh,
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, pay me.
It was weird, and honestly, the whole thing, like, when you're putting somebody who knows, like Zeha being part of a member of the Ramsem Tem, who knows, like, what they do on the underside of the Ramsem Tem, but also knowing that, like, publicly, this is basically a group on the Adari that is all about keeping, like, some of the traditions alive through entertainment and through telling, like, the stories of the Adari through, like, just basically outputting major performers, and they're basically an entertainment company but add cultural like and historical value to the Adari and the Kasatha, and it made no sense for her. Like, there's no way that this isn't sus to have a group of people getting information from it made no sense, and she did not know what to do with herself. So then she gets pulled aside by her mother, and there's a clusterfuck of a conversation with the ones that are left with the council, basically saying, look, This is how you contact Vivi. You have to go here, but don't step foot on Castrovel. You're gonna have to go.
But
get
what they
this
were trying to
information,
tell us,
but don't
was
step
to
foot
go
on
on the
Castrovel. And then you guys were like, "Are you guys saying that so much because you want us to go on Castrovel?" They're like, "What the fuck? No, don't go on Castrovel." It was a ridiculous conversation. Meanwhile, cut to an even more ridiculous conversation between Zeha and her mother, who's just like, "Okay, what have you learned?" And then if I give her information, she pays me.
Yeah.
She's like, "Good job," but that's not enough, because I on my tempering have a mission that I have to accomplish of my own, and honestly, it's like not safe to tell half the things that like like, I was like, what do you mean you want me to tell you or whatever? So eventually I did also let her know, I believe, and this is so long ago that I don't remember how it ended up. Waffles, I did end up telling her that perhaps there was a mole, or did I say not?
No, you did, because she
texted her or
freaked out.
something?
She did.
Okay.
Yeah, she paid you more. I think
Oh, yeah,
that's
she
why.
paid me more for it. God damn it.
It's like, very cool. Here's money.
Yeah,
Good job.
Finally about time, sweetie.
Yeah,
that's
Not
the
quite
worst
what I
thing
was
for a
looking
parent
for,
to
but
do
take some
is be
credit.
like, here, let me pay you. That's
Yeah.
like just it feels so bad.
Yeah. You can tell Wiza has a little bit fucked up in that matter because, you know. Yeah. That's her mother. Which, has anybody, I don't know if anybody asked about her father, but her father is not in the picture, as far as she knows.
We barely understood what was going on there,
Yeah,
let alone
yeah. I
family
think-
dynamics.
Everybody
Did you go out
left.
for like cigarettes or?
Oh, but before that, we did all learn a little bit about, like, in character, everybody learned a little bit about Zeha and her grandmother, Diva. Diva being a very famous performer throughout the Pact Worlds. And
Tetsu knew her.
yeah, like, Moat did too for some reason.
Yeah.
And we talked about how, like, one of the things that probably, like,
Poster.
scoured the news at the moment, like,
T-shirt.
it was everywhere, was when she died.
Moat's likely picking up them radio signals from everywhere and just
Yeah.
he just got a piece of the story at the time, you know?
Yeah,
He
because it was, like,
discovered
on
her
every
during the
channel,
probing.
basically. It was unavoidable.
Also, Moat's mentor, Jaina, was, she had a diva shirt that she used as a rag.
That's right. Yeah, that's my grandmother. Okay.
She loved the
Fame.
shirt.
Yeah, she loved it. It was her favorite
It's a
rag.
great rag.
That says
yeah.
a lot.
So after that, I mean, I think every single person left that meeting more frustrated than anything. But we left Nainal to have a meeting, and like, she wasn't having a meeting with the Ramsem 10 council. She was having a meeting with the
Important people.
what's
Yeah,
the
the
name
proper
of
council.
The Dwaynates.
the Doyanates, yes, the Doyanate Council, which is like the head, like that's the government of the Adari. Ramsem is just like one little faction. So that's good. She's sus as fuck. Okay, so that was the Adari. That was fun, and we got information to contact Vivi, and then off we went to back onto our ship to go to contact Vivi and towards Castrovel, but not step foot on it, but go, but don't go, but go, but don't go.
Yeah.
And when we were headed out of the Adari airspace, we got hailed by, once again, little lovely orc lady. Little lovely orc lady tried to get us, and we beasted her in our first
Boxed
taste of starship combat. It was amazing. She left, tail tucked, and we went into drift. We identified that Grace has some sort of signal that is being like tracked or something like that. So we stopped by Absalom Station, got a quick black box to stuff her in, and went from there. And made our way to Castrovel. We flagged Vivi, and we entered the little Castrovel mini arc, Varsa.
Oh my goodness. So we flagged Vivi. And Vivi pretty much said like, hey guys, you know that like tablet you wanted? I lost it, and you're gonna need to go get it. So now you need to set foot on Castrovel. And we're like, oh no!
Oh, no!
What were we just told?
Oh,
Our
man.
reactions were perfect. We were like, mm-hmm.
Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah,
Shock.
And then we're like, well, at least we don't need to go to the capital, because we were especially told not to go to the capital. Which we didn't need to. We didn't need to. We just needed to go like somewhere else. I forget was that L or is L the capital?
L's the
L's the
capital.
capital.
L's the capital.
However, I would like to amend, while we didn't have to go to the capital, we went to the absolute worst place you could go to because it's where the queen is hanging
Yes.
out.
Though it was also the best place to go to because there's like a masquerade ball that we could use to sneak in and no one would be able
Yeah.
to see our face.
Yeah,
It was
except,
the only place we
elves,
could enter.
Everybody's elves, and anybody that's not elves is treated poorly there. So, our crew.
Yeah,
with
and nothing would go wrong.
Android
with us
Cannibal,
being there.
a gray, Siphozoan, a Rockman, and a Kasatha. What could go wrong?
So the reason we need to go to that city is because the queen's like meeting with her like, you know, friends with benefits sort of deal with this like scientist dude.
The half elf maker, as we call him.
She's yeah, the half elf factory.
That was my favorite line of the explanation. I had it bolded in my notes. It's like, how do you think half elves are made? Like,
That's what this is
masquerade party.
Come from this night. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I remember raising an eyebrow at that explanation of like,
Yep.
Waffles made this whole like community during like a night where Syrup was away and he just wanted to cuddle, and he's just like he was just brainstorming, thinking about some stuff.
Half elves.
To be fair, I weave the best story I can, and a lot
makes sense.
Well, listen, a lot of this stuff, like the masquerade, the fact that shady stuff goes down, and it is surmised that a lot of half-breeds come from it, are all in the Pact World setting book.
mhm.
Oh, seriously? Okay.
Yeah, credit to Waffles, because I don't think that this is like this is a little bit not typical to the homebrew that all of you and us are familiar with Waffles. With time has passed and everything, it's all of this is homebrew, whatever. But this is our first attempt at jumping into Starfinder and entering like trying to be more involved in the lore of the world as it stands, right? Like we have a lot of the Paizo books for the Pact Worlds, and the amount of research that Waffles does into all the areas that we're going to both take the existing lore and weave it into this homebrew is awesome. So I just want to give a little credit to that.
Thanks.
Did I?
Yeah, to just show slightly how far it goes, Arvin's a person in the Pact setting world.
Oh,
books.
really?
Yes, so.
But not Vivi, because she's a little punk.
Yeah, some of them are,
Oh,
some
wait,
of them
I'm
are.
sorry.
Not Nanal.
I meant Nanal.
Oh, okay.
I basically want it to be impossible for you guys to tell who is and who isn't, so.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I didn't notice until now, so you just ruined it for yourself.
Waffles, I need you to let me, in character, allow Tetsu to murder Nanal. I need you to give me that opportunity.
Go for it. I mean, she's here.
You can do it anytime.
Yeah, I mean, the opportunity is up to you to grasp.
You said murder, not kill justifyingly.
Yeah.
You know what
That's
I mean,
true.
Waffles.
No?
Fix it.
All right,
Fix
all
it!
right.
All right. Back to the recap. So we need to infiltrate this like baby making festival so that we can steal away the tablet from the queen, who's going to her like scientist boyfriend to decode it. So we fly our ship down onto Castrovel and we do a bunch of fancy stuff to avoid their like radars or something. Then we land next to like Vivi's rebel camp in the middle of the woods. We meet all the rebels and they're pretty chill. And then we pretty much have the choice of setting out with Vivi and like the rebels as they're about to make their way to the city where the festival is taking place, or we can set out by ourselves to get like the jump on things, you know, take a full day of rest before the strikes. And we decide to go by ourselves. We get jumped by a couple of we get jumped by like a giant plant that like brainwashes Moat into running towards it, and I inject him with like hallucinogens to save his life.
Justify it however you want.
Yeah.
The progress
That
of
was a
science
trip.
will never stop. But then, like, also this giant, like, space starfish came down and, like, tried to eat Dr. Len. And then after we killed that, it, like, fell
Five
on
of
him
them.
and broke 2 of his legs. So he's not doing too hot. But we eventually limped our way over to the city. And when the festival started, we...
Adaptation theorem, or serum, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I think Zeha and Len, like, after discussing, were like, this is strange. Those 2 creatures shouldn't have been working together. It's almost as though they adapted. In some way, which was really crazy.
Mhm.
No
I
large
don't understand what you mean. What are you implying?
And nothing at all, I'm just observing. But
don't
regardless, we then, when the festival started, we slipped on our disguises and split up into groups to enter the city without being sus. Like, we gave our ammo to... we gave like all of our ammo to Tetsu and like kept our guns on us so they wouldn't
We
steal our
hid some
guns.
shit in a tree outside.
Yeah, and
Good thing we weren't
In the-
sus going in.
in that fashion, we just like walked in, and most of us got through scot-free. I think it was Zeha, Len, and like Moat, but like Aizen and Tetsu.
No.
I got pulled.
No, Zeha and Tetsu.
Oh, Zeha and Tetsu. Okay.
Yeah, I got pulled aside,
F-
but I was all hoity about it, and I don't think anybody like
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
she
nothing
went
bad
Karen
happened.
mode.
I'm not really in any system that's a problem. So
Yeah, Zeha was like clear from like the random TSA check, but then like Tetsu got scanned and they're like, he's 86% like a mass murderer.
83, I think.
Yeah,
83%.
83% of something that is on their system that we had no idea what, and we're like, what the fuck does that mean?
A Konoba warlord with thousands of kills under his belt.
We found that out after.
13,000?
We
Of-
had to
of
hack
civilians.
in to identify that.
Well,
But
they
yeah.
didn't specify civilians.
No,
No,
they
no,
did.
yeah,
I
they
think it's
very much
implied.
did.
They very much did specify civilian kills.
Monk Butu, off-world mass murderer, a raider of villages and such, with 1,350 deaths under their belt.
Right. They didn't say, like, some of those were guards, some of those were PMCs, you know, PDF forces,
Excuses.
other stuff.
You seem to have
I'm
a
just
large
saying-
understanding of this, Tetsu.
I
I thought you didn't know anything about this.
I love it. Okay. So we're in the
who's doing the
masquerade.
recap? What?
Yeah, right.
So eventually we all make it in. I think Aizen's like sword is sealed, but everyone else generally has their weapon split up a bit. And we just kind of started going about our plotting, trying to figure out how to get into this like scientist lab, how to get the like tablet away from the queen. With the help of VV, we like infiltrate the emissary district, I think it's called, where like all the hoity-toity folk are. Like
She didn't help us.
Well, she helped us like with the planning. Like she secured a way out. But like Moat and Tetsu snuck in by pretending to be photographers, and like Zeha, Aizen, and Len like guilt tripped a lady into giving them her pass in. But eventually we got in and we started like casing the joint, you know, figuring out what to do. And we came up with this really genius plan where Len was going to pose as a like different scientist named Ben, and he was going to like talk up the like scientist dude. His name was Tibble. Ask him about like robots and stuff. 'Cause Tibble loves robots. And then we like, you know, we had a really good plan going. Like people were gonna sneak in. They're
Yeah,
gonna
how'd the
get
plan
like,
go,
Tetsu.
guys?
We're gonna get Tetsu off of the like list of bad people so we could make our escape with the tablet. It was gonna be great. Within like 10 seconds of initiating the plan, Zeha, Aizen, and Moat like sprint into the room where Tibble is, tackle him to the ground, and put a knife to his neck, and then actually realize he was Tibble because they didn't know. And then
It took
everything went
way
poorly.
longer than I thought for them to realize it was Tibble.
I was
To be fair,
expecting
I
a
knew-
fucking scientist, not
To be
a
fair-
dude playing video games.
Yeah.
What do you think a
Scientists can be
scientist
gamers
is? Have you
too.
not met science people? They're all nerds.
Yeah, to be fair, Aizen knew immediately who it was, but he
sure
was like,
you did, Aizen. Sure
I
you did.
asked specifically, he looks non-elven. I was like, the only person who can be non-elven must be Tibble.
I
But I went with it
100%
anyway.
thought it was Tibble's kid with the queen.
Yeah,
No.
no, me too. I thought
Look.
that was my guess. I thought it was gonna be somebody
that
who
was-
squandered away a house, because it was like this little like house, which we thought it was
Eight-
gonna be like a building, and I thought it was like somebody that had to be hidden from like the community.
I was like, there's
I thought it
no
was
way
80%.
that we literally go to the second room in this place and find the dude that we're looking for that is like uber important to the queen. Like, how does that, like,
Yes,
that just
I'm
doesn't
with
make sense.
you,
I'm assuming we're like
100%.
deep diving into the highest
We
highest
thought
room
this
in the
was gonna be a
tallest
delve. We
tower
thought
of
this was
the
gonna
emissary
be
district.
Mission Impossible style of like multiple rooms traversing, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we're just
I'm just
dumb.
I'm imagining the like gamer being like their kid, and they just like stuck their iPad kid in like a penthouse and just leave him alone.
Yeah.
all day.
I mean,
That's
yeah,
what
but
rich people
mean,
do.
Get out of my
They
room, I'm playing Smash
They
Bros.
Rapunzeled this kid. That's
yeah,
what
I
I
thought it was
thought.
gonna be
Play
a Rapunzel
this.
situation, and we looked at the dude and
It's
we
Mighty Melee, actually.
yeah, Mighty Melee. I'm sorry.
Mighty Melee 3?
We
4.
went and looked at this
4, sorry.
dude.
5?
5. and we saw all these tattoos all over their body of like all like different cultures and shit. So to me that confirmed my theory. They're this bad boy that they're like, well, I'm stuck here, but look at me, all cultural with all these culture tattoos. Like that's what I thought it was gonna be.
You leave my boy Tibble alone.
I think that's still true. I think I think
No,
your assumption is still true.
He's as a red dot. He's like some other mass murderer, I think, that we just let go.
Well,
Nah.
yeah, he has a bit of a criminal background, but we have Dr. Len, so we don't really have much room to,
Why do you guys assume Dr. Len is a criminal? He hasn't told you why he lost his medical license.
Dr. Len, I have a question.
Yes, he did.
Did you make the adaptation serum? Because if you're not a criminal
he worked on the adaptation
like
project.
Geneva level criminal.
No.
You told us.
He
You told
worked-
us that your partner betrayed you.
Yeah. We're working on the adaptation project. That's totally different. You guys are crazy.
Yeah, okay. Say that to the convention. That gets
The adaptation project was a pill. This is a serum. You guys are insane.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
We believe you, buddy.
We're almost done.
But we're almost done. Anyways, after a little bit of talking, we find out Tibble's like a pretty chill dude. He likes gaming.
My
he
best
likes
friend.
Nothing else.
Cool guy.
But he really wants to get off world. So we decided to like strike up a deal. If he helps us get like the tablet, we'll take him off, or we'll get him out of here.
Yeah. What does he do? What does he do?
He calls for the guards to like
guards.
get us into motion. He's a guy who takes action. He's a man of initiative. He doesn't stand around waiting for things to happen. He makes the opportunities.
Why are you so critical of my boy?
They beat the crap out of the guards, and then we all came into the room and then hid where the guards were in the security room after stuffing them in the bathroom, and waited for the queen to show up. But we also I forgot, we took Tibble into the like guard room with us and left Tetsu disguised
Alone
as
with the
Tibble.
queen. Ooh, this jazz
And,
music's suddenly very fitting.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And the queen came in and like gave him the tablet and told him to decode it, and like pretty quickly started putting the moves on him. But their encounter was interrupted by by people shooting guns outside or approaching with guns as the guards stood by and just let themselves get like cut down. Then the Veskin Skittermander, who we were friends with from before, like teleported into the room and tried to like take the tablet away from Tetsu and the queen, and Tetsu threw a smoke bomb down and ran.
And you guys are making fun of me for the smoke bomb.
And he sprinted into the
Flawless
crowd of
execution.
civilians fleeing and like dropped his disguise, while the queen actually was shot to the ground and then teleported away.
Tetsu is 100% not responsible for that. He handed
Yeah.
the queen to the guards, said
Yeah.
take her in the other direction or
guards fucked
after
up.
me,
True.
and the guards were idiots and just pushed her
Right.
away and didn't even protect her. What?
Yeah, they're
shitty
like, go
guards.
after that guy who said, run away from me.
Honestly, I will agree here that like what happened there would have happened regardless, right? It would have actually been worse if Tetsu wasn't Tibble in that moment, because like
Yeah,
the
they
only
know
reason
my
they
face.
survived, right?
They
Like
don't know we're involved, yeah.
No,
Yeah, as
if
far
I
as
was
we know.
there
I don't think they know.
undisguised, they would have been like, you.
well, no,
And
what
it
I'm
would have just
saying
been a
is like
murder fest.
if actual Tibble and the queen had been in the room when they teleported in and
Yeah.
done all that shit, like they would have both been dead. They would have both like kicked the bucket. The only reason she got outside of the building was because you were able to drag her out with the
Yeah,
smoke bomb.
no.
the way you did.
I think it went as well as could be hoped, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
Not
for
for that
intents
damn
purposes. I mean,
guard.
sure,
Yeah, no,
the
it went
queen
well.
was kidnapped, and we ditched, and ding dong ditched. Sorry, queen.
Not our
bye.
responsibility.
No.
Yeah.
But by the way, we
I
haven't
mean-
mentioned this, but I totally think Vivi is related to the queen in some way.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Almost
yeah,
certain.
yeah, for sure.
Step
I don't
siblings
know if
or
we'll
half
find
siblings or
out.
something.
Mhm.
Or daughter.
I mean, maybe
Skylar.
not related, but like connected in some way, like
think-
an
I think she's
ex-girlfriend or something. Who knows? Could be.
Okay, but we ditched, right? We ditched.
Yeah, we ditched. We eventually decided to bring Tibble along with us to our ship to just get him off world, though we don't really know what we're doing with him. We think we're bringing him back.
He's gonna be hanging out with me at Crick's place.
And
It's what you hope.
Eisen-
It's what you hope.
no,
Eisen
we're
is
best
looking.
friends.
No, Eisen is looking after him right now. Thank you very much. We're gonna go get some drinks. It's gonna be.
I'm
good
gonna
time.
the second
I'm
we're
not
off of
to shit.
Castrovel, I am googling the fuck out of him.
That's fine.
Or
an even
space
worse mass
Googling.
murderer.
we determined the name for Space Google yet?
Not yet, I
Not
don't
yet.
think.
For Google.
Not yet.
We have a lot of things that we've made ourselves. We have Signal, which is Space Yelp. We have what else have we built so far in our
So I'm
own
gonna start
little
with a
world?
V, I think.
Herentals.
Parentals,
for sure.
of course.
I don't
The
like that one.
Big
We have the
fast
new Nebula News.
Parental was a
Nebula
war
News.
hero.
Nebula News Network.
Nebula, yeah, triple
Yeah.
N is the main
N-cubed.
news network. Nebula
N-
News.
N-cubed.
N-cubed and N to the third.
Yep.
I think people just call it N3, like for short.
Yeah.
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 3.
It's either N3 or like everyone knows the symbol because it's just N, like the Nintendo 64 3D N inside a cube.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Got it.
I still think Google should be called Hubble.
That's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Like a
That's
telescope.
not
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah,
because
that-
it's like
yeah.
the double letters. It's like easy to remember for Google.
Sure.
And Hubble.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Their
There you
symbol
go.
is
You
the
can have- you
telescope.
can be
Like,
Hubble.
yeah.
Cool.
So you're gonna hubble him when you
I'm
get out
gonna
of
I'm gonna hubble the fuck out of him.
That
out of
sounds.
Tibble.
That sounds.
That sounds illicit.
Oh, yeah. I thought you
Nope,
didn't
nope.
like
You
Tibble.
just have to commit to the word like Google. You're fine. Just
Yeah.
move past it.
Well, you're right.
Yeah.
Google.
Yeah,
does
I was about to say, if
sound
no one knew what Google meant, you'd be like, I'm gonna Google the fuck out of
I'm
him.
gonna Google.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
come
gonna
on.
Hubble the hell out of Tibble.
I'm
Me
gonna call
too.
it right now. Here's my theory. We're gonna have plenty of time for theories as well, but love story for the ages, unexpected, Tibble and Zeha. The least
Yeah.
likely.
Well, I don't know if love story and more just
Murder
let's say-
story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that.
We do have
Let's
to
just
talk about our
say-
dancing scene at some point. Speaking of weird tete-a-tetes.
Oh, that's right. Zeha and Aizen boogied on the dance floor while
That's
they were
true.
trying to gather information.
let's just say, yeah, like we went to go intel, and I think that was the weirdest timed Nat 20 followed by a Nat 1 ever.
Best timed. From my angle, it was the best time considering I got that.
Yeah, that's gonna be an awkward relationship.
What? Tibble and Tetsu?
Aizen and
Aizen
Zeha.
Zeha and Tibble, Tetsu would be very, very jealous. I'm ignoring that right now.
I mean, if you don't let us have bro time and like playing the Xbox and chilling, yeah.
Zeha,
Alright,
it's
alright,
my turn with Tibble.
Yeah,
Alright.
Zeha, I want to play with Timbo.
We finished that recap finally. You
Did
guys
we?
get off.
Yes,
well,
we
you guys get off the planet. You finally get your information about
Do we all get a hero point because we did the recap?
3 different things. No. You get your information about 3 different things that you liked, question mark, didn't like. I don't know.
Wait, what?
All the information you got from Vivi that Tetsu stole.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We got.
I was gonna
We
mention
got-
that, but I didn't know if we were wrapping up the recap.
We got
What
we got
were
something
the
about the
things?
Black Butterfly, like a syndicate information person that Vivi was in contact with. We got a location of like a secret cache they were unfamiliar with, and we got
Yeah.
coordinates.
Okay, yeah,
to
we
the
got
actual location that we
we
wanted
got
to
drift
go.
coordinates to a planet named Ashalin, which was received from an unknown vendor. There were messages back and forth between the rebels and the Black Butterfly, whatever that is. And then there were drift coordinates again for a interesting haul, but very dangerous is all that we really got. So the planet Ashalin is where we have to go for our information. That was the information.
Furthering
we originally-
Grace.
Yeah, for Grace.
I think Waffles put it as very dangerous so that we would go next episode so we could TPK.
Right.
I'm ready.
I mean, the thing is, Carrick, right? You
Sorry,
keep
sir,
talking
thank
about how Waffles doesn't kill you, and I think it comes down to moments like these where we just have to have the balls to be like, all right, we're going.
Yeah,
I'm
we
in.
purposely
Let's do it.
ignored the dangerous routes on several occasions. Like we didn't even talk about that computer ship that we completely.
Oh yeah,
ghosted.
the little
The
like
fleet
AI
you're
ship
in?
that you guys
Yeah.
the
Oh,
first
yeah.
encounter in space ever that you
Yeah.
could it was alone, but
Oh
it
yeah,
wasn't
that one.
it wasn't like it's supposed to be part of a big fleet kind of swarm type mechanic, and it was alone by itself, probably easy to take out, easy to get information from, and you guys
It's
were
too
like,
fast, though.
nah.
Well,
No,
it
it
was
was
like
We're
like
shut
level
off.
1. Nah.
It was like shut off.
Well,
there
the problem was it was against mission, right? Like our goal was to get Nanal somewhere. If we got blown up,
we were
not
in the
getting
asteroid
Nanal
belt, I
somewhere.
recall, and we were like
Yeah.
worried
Plaque
about.
The diaspora.
Guys, we can't all die. We'd fail our mission.
Yeah, poke the hive mind. Go ahead. Poke it.
Unfortunately, I
Exactly.
think
Yeah,
what we
yeah.
learned from that is like we could have had pretty good ship upgrades from the AI on that or something like that.
don't-
Like had we gotten
Yeah.
it.
But like it's a war hive mind. Like I don't want to
Yeah,
give that
no,
to
no,
Grace.
that's
Like
not worth it for
mm.
us level 1ers. But now maybe we should go back, find them.
That's the
it's
your-
at level
that's
4.
the your level 1, and you see a deck of many things just dangling above a volcano. You try to get it.
I think
like
I send Dr. Len.
if we go back now
I get a long
specifically
pull.
to the diaspora and look for that, we find the hive.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what would happen.
I mean, without question, yeah. Like that's that's bad news.
Bad
I'm
news
gonna
bears.
before I'm gonna let Waffles take us to our first break or anything like that. I have to have the quickest answer to this section. We're moving on from the highlight
no.
reel. We're going to the NPC section. All right, guys. Everyone's least favorite NPC. On the
No.
count of 3.
Nadal.
No.
Who was
That-
who? No, the girl from the Adari. Why can't I think of
Nanal.
her name? No,
No, I
the-
liked her.
Mel, something like that. No.
No, the
Oh,
yeah,
the young
The
one.
young girl.
yeah, the young girl.
Oh yeah, she was.
Who was-
Oh, you
cool. She
didn't
was-
like her?
I like.
Nell?
She was okay until I started to ask her reasonable questions, and then she gave me.
Well,
no-
your definition of reasonable question, everybody else's definition of reasonable question are completely different.
I simply asked like basic information, like is the moon dangerous? And she was like, just don't go on the planet. And it's like,
That was Tia Didu, I think.
yeah, like
I'm sorry, what was her last name?
Didu.
You do.
Didu. I didn't do this. This is Waffles. Waffles chose this.
Oh, Waffles, you fool. You
it-
absolute fool.
it's funny because while we were playing with while that character was on screen, I couldn't think of anyone but the sister from Dexter's Laboratory the entire time. And so that
Dee Dee?
she just had that vibe,
Dee Dee.
right? Like yeah, she had like the Dee Dee vibe of just like
I don't think so.
Being-
I think that girl.
Are you smoking
Tia,
during these?
no.
Tia is unique, for sure, and like counter to the
Yes.
council. But I have a feeling like. No, I don't want to get into. We'll get into this I think later. But I have thoughts on like how much of that is unfortunate, like us being very like confused and making things way worse because we kept asking about the fucking planet and they were like, don't go on the planet, and that's it. Like it was a
I'm just
terrible
saying-
conversation.
Yeah.
It would have been helpful to have more information about the planet, seeing as we obviously had to go on the planet. Because they wanted us to. They wanted
And
us
then
to,
once,
and they
once
know
we
it.
were on the planet, we couldn't like search. We couldn't hubble
Right.
anything.
Should have told us
because
about the planet. They really fucked up.
if I was there, it was hard. I wasn't there. Like I'm the one that knows them, and I could talk to them and be like, "Yo, I get it, but come on," like in character.
Yo, we're dumbasses. We're gonna be on the planet.
It's like,
let's
okay,
hear
we
it.
get that you don't want us to go on the planet, but what other information can you give us? And hope that was there. But no, my
You know,
mother had
when we
to
go on
drag
the
me
planet.
away.
Right.
All right. Who's y'all's least favorite NPC?
The old dude on the
Nanal.
Rumsen 10.
The
or
old dude.
Tejas
Y'all,
mom.
dude.
Yeah, the old dude was just out of line and like entirely being like
Dermoff.
yeah, that guy
Turn off.
even the other guys on the council were like, why are you trying to do
Bruh.
this shit to them?
I didn't mind him.
I've been like
Oh no,
scouring.
that's a reasonable pick. I think.
I've been
Mo doesn't like him
scouring
most.
the council to see who would be the Starfinder mole, but
Your mom. Well,
no, she was
probably not.
shocked.
No.
I know. Well, she's a spy. She could.
Oh my
pretend to be-
god.
Actually, that's a great cover,
Oh,
right?
honey.
Lying to you in that moment is actually like
Yeah.
the best way to like.
Your mom would be like the best NPC if she was the bad guy. Waffles. Rewrite the story. Make it happen.
watching Waffles' facial expressions very closely right now.
He doesn't have to rewrite what's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
I just
Follow
smile
me
all
in
the
there.
time. That's my poker face too. Like if
I
you
don't-
just do the same thing all the time, it doesn't matter, right?
Nope.
Sure.
Nope. I agree. I think
Okay,
I
who's
did
our
not
who's
like
our favorite?
Dermoff at all, and
Tibble.
Tibble.
No, so my
Sorry,
least
continue.
favorite in character is Tibble. 100%. I cannot
Love
stand
Tibble.
him.
Mhm.
That's
Tibble.
flat out.
My favorite.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Who's everyone's favorite?
Tibble.
It's a toss up for me between Tibble and Arvin. I just like Arvin's attitude.
Arvin's cool.
Like
Arvin's
like
cool.
his whole thing. Like I get it, and it's just like
I get
Yeah,
Calm down,
Arvin's like that. The I call it like the upper lower management. Like he's in the high tier, but he's at the bottom of the high tier where he
Right.
just doesn't care that much. Like
But he's reasonable, right? Like when you come to him with
Yeah.
a request, like he'll actually talk to you about it, and he'll
He's
probably
st- he's
screw
still
you
a-
over. But like,
he's still a person. He hasn't
I
been corrupted by the
disagree.
system yet.
yeah,
All right, my favorite character, NPC, is Twek.
Is it really?
I just,
Is that
I
a
think-
real answer?
I think Vivi's actually been pretty on point. I enjoy
Yeah.
Vivi.
yeah, I like
Yeah, I
her.
thought she was interesting too.
she wasn't as bad as I expected her to be for sure.
It-
I thought
it's-
she was gonna be like a Nanal,
Glowing
but
review.
she wasn't.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to say favorite NPC when you don't know them fully, right? Like you don't know behind the
Right.
scenes stuff. So people that we've interacted with that I think have like the coolest character, like personality
there's
development
like-
and stuff like that. Yeah, I like Vivi a lot.
Yeah.
It's honestly hard to say what your favorite NPC is when there is Tibble there, who's obviously the favorite.
No, Tibble
Yeah.
is the worst.
Tibble's pretty cool, but I actually think the person that I'm the most interested in getting to know is Tibble and Grace. Like Grace,
Can I
as
say
Grace is an
Grace?
NPC.
Can
Like,
I?
Yeah,
Grace is an
Grace
NPC.
is my
Yeah.
favorite, 100%.
Yeah, Grace. Yeah,
I'm so curious about her and like the stutter and like there's so much that
Yeah.
I want to unravel on that.
and I catch whenever Waffles talks, I pay really close attention. I'm sure you've caught me on a couple occasions, like
I usually
like,
ignore 'em.
leaning forward, just like, and I catch little things, and I'm like, that was weird. Why didn't AI make that sound?
So the thing is, right, like Grace is fascinating. She's a conundrum and she has a lot of interesting insight to be garnered
Yeah.
from there. Tibble. Waffles just has too much fun playing Tibble. And that's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, you can't
Why-
you
why
can't
do you not
dislike
like
somebody I have
Waffles
fun
having-
playing.
Yeah, no, I
exactly.
will and I can.
Why do you not like Waffles?
No, I love Waffles.
It doesn't seem
Well,
that way.
I
You don't
so if I
like him
go-
playing his favorite character.
if I can go as a GM, I don't have a least favorite NPC because I created them all. But if I had to
No.
say a least
gotta
favorite,
choose
well,
a
like
favorite
I created them all with like a purpose in the story, obviously. But if I had to say a least favorite NPC, because of the lack of interaction, I guess, like not on y'all's part, but just like I expected him to be more in the story and there to be a little more time. That would be Twit.
Yeah.
So like he was just kind of like skipped over very quickly. And
Did you
that was
expect
like
did you expect that we'd grab him and take him with us? Or?
I never really expect anything, but my brain, like for some reason in the subconscious, just was like, he'll have more time. Whether he goes with them or you guys check out Radiation or like we just roleplay for another episode, like something will happen where he'll have a little more time. But like the whole car ride kind of passed where he
We did the
didn't really
flashbacks.
talk, you know? Yeah, we did the
flashbacks.
flashbacks. We did the flashbacks of fight, and then you were at the ship.
Right.
So
Well, what that means is
I'm
that he
thinking
has to
like
come
to
back,
do
and he
Waffles
has to have
carrying a
a
few-
retribution arc.
yes,
There you go.
He'll come save
so
us
far-
when we're on the verge of PK.
Yeah.
so far my favorite NPCs to create were Taya, Tibble, and Grace, for
Mhm.
sure.
Taya is very interesting, and that to me I think is because of my insight to the Adari. So like one of the things that I was able to have researching a little bit more about the Adari and the culture is like I looked at the PDF on the Adari. Like I researched more about like, you know, how all that works, and obviously the Ramsum 10 are something that we created, but I got this deep dive onto like Kasatha culture and how they are a very interesting mix of like tradition. So front wise, we are like they are very not they're not going to show discourse. Like for strangers on a that come and visit the Adari, they look really put together, and that there's no like political infighting and stuff like that. So of course on the other side of that, it is the most passive aggressive, subtle like stuff in that kind of culture on the back end. So to learn of basically Taya being on the Ramsem 10, Ramsem 10 being an extension of the Kasata culture in this particular like setting that I'm involved in, she is a black sheep to say the least. And I think I appreciate that on like a deeper level, knowing just how intensely upsetting to the balance she is. I think she's fascinating.
There's definitely some characters in the future of all of our backstories that I'm looking forward to meeting. Like Dr. Len's partner. I just want to meet that guy.
No, I hate him.
Yeah. I want to have all of you meet Dara Turma, because I as a player have never interacted with her either.
Just like flashbacks and created her, but
Yeah,
like never
yeah.
interacted with her.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how that is going to go down.
Is that the person that is technically your rival? Who's the person that your rival? Okay,
Yeah,
that's the person
Dara
Nal
Turma
contacted.
is like half a generation in the Ramsem 10 below me, so she's like a class under me, and she was always really jealous of.
So like I kind of imagine like say in human high school or college terms, like while Zeha would be a senior, Dare is a freshman, kind of like the up and comer kind of thing. No, that's just a year. Like she's like half a generation behind you, so like 4 years properly. So like she's entering into college while you're leaving college, kind of thing. So she was entering into like her training while you were leaving it.
Wait, I thought you said that she, and this may have been off screen, that she started her tempering, though. That would put her very closer in age to me, so she's not on her tempering yet?
Yeah, but again, that's human years versus like Kasatha years, where it's like...
I thought they were pretty similar, but I might be wrong.
It's not like when you're 19, you go to college. It's like you have this window of adolescence type of thing. Like,
gotcha, that they can decide when to go on this journey.
Exactly.
Basically.
Yeah, and from Dara's perspective, she's like, this is complete nepotism. Like, you're the granddaughter of the diva, your mom's on the council, of course you're getting all these things. Like, but like to Zeha, she is very, very talented technomancer by blood, and so there's that conflict going on there.
It's gonna be some good stuff. All right. I think we're good for our break now.
Yeah, I think we are too.
Are we?
So I will say this, because we're about to go on break, and we're gonna come back. We have a couple things to talk about, but we've been talking a lot, and I would love to get some character questions from all of y'all. So if you have questions for Dr. Len, for Varso about Dr. Len, for Aizen, for Moat, for Tetsu, for Zeha, or for our fabulous GM, please post them in chat throughout the break or when we get back. I don't care. But ask away. If you're just curious about something, either, hey, the worst case, we're going to say, I'm not going to tell you yet. You're going to find out in the story. That's perfectly fine too. But ask away, and we'll happily give you some deeper insight into our characters and that fun stuff and the story as a whole. So let's do that. Yes, give me 1 second, guys. Entertain everybody while I get something going here for us.
Yeah, I already have some questions set up.
Yeah, I also have some questions
for the characters, and I'm not gonna say them now, but I'm ready to ask them. So
can I ask a stupid question right now? Just
yeah. Y'all can hit me with some like stupid questions and/or GM questions if you want. That might be
What is Nanal's
small
AC?
potential spoilers. Somewhere in between 10 and 40.
Okay, I think we can hit that.
I mean, it's somewhere around there. Natural 20 always hits. There you go.
My question is actually for both you Waffles and Varso. Does Len eat? And if so, what is his breakfast of choice?
Len does eat. Len does eat, but jellyfish eat through like the bottom of their bells, which is why he doesn't take his food or drink around anyone else, because he would have to take off his pants.
So he butt chugs everything.
Technically speaking.
Basically, yeah.
But
honestly,
imagine one day Tetsu walked in and just was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Okay.
I'm
And-
gonna
and
be
that's-
honest. I
that's
don't
what-
know what jellyfish eat. Give me 1 minute to look that up.
Fish
But that was a
food.
that was a Varso decision, right? To go full jellyfish anatomy. That wasn't written
Yeah,
into.
yeah.
No, okay.
they
I
don't
don't know if-
describe anatomy.
I was about to say I don't know if Cyphozoans like. It usually tells you like if you don't need to eat or if you do, but even if you do, there's a lot of like sustenance pills because it's the future, all that kind of stuff.
All right. I
Yeah,
have
you
to
could have a
answer this question,
suppository,
'cause
but you
this is
choose
great.
to butt chug.
My father, my real life Syrup's father, wants to know how Zeha feels about her father not being in the picture.
She's just projecting. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
The question you have to ask is, what did you do wrong?
She's shown us the token of her would-be father. For some reason, it's very photorealistic. We don't quite know why, but you know.
lot of angry
I have to
scribbles on
actually turn this question over to Waffles a little bit because there's a bit of this that
Yeah,
was
why does she hate her dad?
unfleshed out in terms of what I know in character or not, and we've talked about it, and I don't remember how we left it off, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So can you give a little insight into that, as far as what I know?
Yeah, you want me to like set it in stone as far as what you know?
Yeah.
Basically, Diva died how she died, tragic. And then it was very soon after that Zeha's father left Theodari, like within a year, like left Theodari and did not return. Now, that is the not in the picture. It is not a dead, like you guys haven't had the funeral with the brain slice for him or anything. It's not a dead alive. He is just, he's not there.
Did you say brain slice?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The Idari culture, the Kasatha culture, part of their procession of like a funeral is to take a slice of their brain and forever keep it in the halls of this place that just keeps all of
It
this.
was a very tall spire that y'all saw that I mentioned.
Yeah.
What if you're like Dr. Len and you don't have a brain to slice?
It's for Kasatha only.
So,
Yeah.
It's
All
definitely
so you're
Kasatha.
telling me there's a hall on the Idari full of Kasatha brain bacon?
Yes.
Wait.
So-
It gets better. There are the people that take care of this place. They have
So
a
you're mind
thing-
flayers.
They go in and they connect, because the whole thing about tradition and Kasatha have to do with the fact that they build their own culture. They build their own not habits. What's it called?
Traditions?
Traditions. Thank you. And they're studied over generations because the religious people that take care of this temple, it's a temple where there's a procession, a funeral procession. They get hooked up to this machine, and they connect to the brains of the dead. And it is a very taxing thing that they're basically out of commission for like weeks afterwards as they recover from that thing that they do. It's insane. It's super cool.
So
What-
could you have
what I-
technically gone to see your grandmother then? Like,
So there, as far as I know, there was a procession for my grandmother, right? They did the procession and
Yep.
everything, but it's not something that you can just connect to. Like,
Yeah, these are like the best way I can explain it in real life terms is these are like monks, kind of like they train for it. Like this is what they do. Like
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
this
can't just
is
go and
not,
be like, "Hey, let me
Wakanda.
connect." But the interesting
like-
thing is that I do have something from my grandmother, which is my spell cache, which is the headband. So, yeah. Anyways,
what I thought. Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt you one time and just throw this out into the world before we go on break and let everyone stew on it. What I thought Coop was gonna say is, so what you're telling me is there is a like large spire full of organic matter just sitting out there.
Oh no!
oh, that's true. Oh god!
That's
Oh
where
god!
I
Oh, that's true.
teleported. Oh no!
So mind flayers now.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Speaking
is
of
the root of the mind flayer. Converted I
Kasatha.
can't say it.
Kasatha.
Katasa.
Kasatha brain.
Catholicism?
No,
Catholicism?
Kabasa brain.
Okay, break.
Kabasa brain.
No. So right before break, I'm gonna let you all know we're gonna pull our first giveaway winner when we return from break. What that means is to enter this giveaway and this is for our lovely Pride Skittermander pin. To enter, and you can look on our social media for if you want a picture of what it actually looks like. It's so cute and I love it. Favorite NPC is the Skittermander. Duh. Sorry. The
False.
keyword to enter is pride, because this is our lovely pride pin. So go ahead and enter the word pride in chat only once, please, or I think you'll be disqualified, but I'll do my very best to take a look. If it was an accident, just let me know. But yeah, go ahead, enter pride, and we'll go on break, and we'll come back, and we'll pick a winner. So be here, and we love you. Is that yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Let's go get drinks and get ready for all the crazy questions that I'm gonna ask because chat doesn't want to. I'm just kidding. I love you, chat.
Definitely ask us questions in chat as well, okay? We're gonna come back, we're gonna answer your questions, and we're gonna get this giveaway going. We love you. We'll be right back.
Bye.
No.
And we're back. Thanks for hanging out with us while we ran and refreshed our drinks. Waffles, what you get?
Oh.
Can you show it?
I got my Yingling. Let's see if it shows up in
Yeah,
front
you
of
got
the.
some.
Kinda.
There we go. Got my Yingling, and then I got my whiskey.
Man.
Some of the high dollar Minnesota whiskey. I forget what it's called. It's called Red something, Red Bird or something like that. But it's supposedly like
Robin?
top 10 in the U.S. without spending like $500. So
Yeah, please. Okay, so we're back, but before we can really get back into all these lovely questions, is it Redbreast? WMS?
yes, that's what it
That's
is.
the one. The giveaway. Jeez, my brain was like, huh? What am I doing? So
She
if
heard
you
the word breast
haven't
and she was done.
done this yet, please, and you want a chance to win our lovely Skittermander Pride pin from the lovely Paizo people. And I believe, by the way, that proceeds for the Pride pin are actually going to some foundation. I unfortunately don't have it up, so I apologize. I don't want to say the wrong thing. But if you want a chance to win this lovely little Skittermander Pride pin, make sure you have written Pride in chat once. I'm going to call a few of you out if you haven't done it. Keone, I see you in here. You should totally enter too. Oh my god, everybody look at Varso's hair. Oh, he left.
I'll ask you, chat. Don't go crazy and enter when I ask this question. I saw a lot of exclamation point prides.
No,
Does that
those are-
change
those are-
anything?
that's
That's fine. Okay. Don't enter it again.
Yeah, it doesn't matter really what you put before and after. You just have to write those letters in those series of orders. Okay, I mean, if nobody else wants to enter, I can go ahead and draw it right now. Are we ready?
Yeah, looks like we got 3 people. Let's go.
Oh, it's a high chance of winning, y'all. All right.
Carrick wins, yay!
Carrick, you want to enter?
We have to
Do you want to
abstain.
enter, Carrick?
Now.
Nah.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Eric Jackson.
Oh,
What's up?
Hey.
hello.
Awesome.
Woo!
Eric Jackson, if you can, shoot us a message on one of our social medias. So that could be our Instagram, which is at WMSPod, or our Twitter at Waffles Maple. Or if you don't
Or join
have
the
any of those,
Discord.
you could just send us directly on Twitch as well. But we just need a way to contact you, and so we can get your information, and we'll get that your way. Thank you.
Heck yeah.
For hanging out and enjoying this. All right, remember we have one more giveaway that we're gonna do at the end, which is a Starfinder koozie, beer koozie, and bottle opener. Thank you. Yeah.
They look cool. They got the little Starfinder emblems on them. The beer koozie is like the light blue Starfinder color that you see like on our overlay and stuff. So they look pretty cool. I like them.
You can drink beer in space with this koozie. No.
In space as a Starfinder.
Official Starfinder merch. I want that official Starfinder
They should do a
backpack.
Starfinder backpack. Oh.
Right? Amazing. Okay. Yes, Keone, make sure you stick around because we'll give you that special keyword for when we do that at the end. Okay, but we're here. We talked. We had the whole first half, which was not intended, was our recap because we had a lot to say, which is fair. Now, do you guys? Let's start off. Does anybody have any questions? Well, Waffles, is that okay? Do you want to do some questions, or do you want to do other stuff first? I'll let you handle it.
Let's do some other stuff first.
Sure.
Let's do with, I want to keep on the character train and kind of very slowly go down it here. Let's do I want to go around and get some character insights, like on your characters, kind of as an out of character / in character, how it started, like what was the plan for your character, how it's going, and where do you see it going and or want it to go, like wherever you want to take that conversation. So kind of a past, present, future. I'm gonna have to say all of this again because Varso doesn't have his headphones on.
Where did you go,
Varso.
Varso?
Let's save him for
Welcome back.
last, and let's let him make assumptions about what the
Yeah, he
questions are.
can figure it out.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But
I had
also-
a very good reason.
I
So
don't believe you.
during the break, I was checking my dog for a tick, since here in Vermont, ticks are everywhere, and I didn't want my dog to have a tick on her. And then I sat down, and I'm like, oh, it's the second half of the session fatigue. I didn't get a coffee, so I had to get up and get a coffee. You wouldn't want me passing out the table. I wouldn't want to pull a Carrick on you guys.
So-
You know how
so
much
you're-
I care.
Oh.
So your dog didn't have a tick.
No.
Okay, then it doesn't matter.
So you're feeling up your dog the whole break and didn't get a coffee.
Quick one, quick
I had a
recap
quick
on like
answer.
how what you want him to really try to figure it out.
No, I mean it's not difficult to figure out. But I just
Okay.
I just want to say that for chat, like as we're going through our little character insights, where we started, where we are, and where we're going. There you go, Varso. There's your quick one. I think it's a very good opportunity if you have any like, just if there's something you want to like learn a little bit more about, or if you want like a little bit more information as to insight into what something they touched on and you want more, just let us know. And that's what we're here for. But
For sure. All right, let's start with Zaya.
oh shit.
Put on the spot.
Okay, so where it started, she started with her mission on her tempering. Her main thing is make the Ramsamten proud, make her grandmother proud, get her mother off her back a little bit, as well as just like there's a lot of pressure for her basically. So she was like, okay, I have to do this good. But when she first like went out, this is a couple months after she started her tempering, and she was just really enjoying her freedom for the first time. And so how it started was like she didn't get distracted from the mission, but she definitely like didn't start hard right away. She enjoyed herself and then was like, okay, I have to do this. And was naive. She's never like, she's done her stuff and has her training, but nothing prepared her for what ended up happening. Basically, like first journey off of the Adari, she was on Absalom, but after Absalom, first like thing with to try to get into the Starfinder, radiation sickness, boom, right off the bat. Like what the heck?
Boom.
So she panicked a little bit, and like the next time we had downtime, she went and was like, here's a bunch of stuff that'll save us from radiation and like healing and stuff like that, because she got like into fights and stuff which she's never done before, and it showed her how bad she is in a fight, to be honest. Like that's not where she shines. She shines yeah, I did it. I have a problem with my S's and SH's, leave me alone. So it's been interesting for her. So that's where she started. I think she started more naive and definitely is coming down from there. She's also used to being in her circles. This is the first time she's outside of her circles. So there's no guarded, like there's no respect necessarily that is given like freely or like without her having to do something.
No respect.
And so she was like basically put in the captain position, which she could do, but it was interesting for her. She was like, okay, cool, this is great. But then she realized, oh, but it's not not just like, oh, I'm the captain now, do as I say. This isn't the way to get that respect either. You know what I mean? So I think she's learning, and where she is right now is kind of trying to figure out interpersonal a little bit more within the group. I think that's kind of where she's focused on, because there's a lot going on, but obviously this is the group that she's sticking with right now, and it's time to start really getting along. One thing I want to mention in particular, so we talked a little bit about the Eisen moment, but honestly, like that's not, it was odd for her, and it threw her completely off, but like there's enough going on right now with Tibble on the spaceship, like that's not on her brain at all right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The one thing that is, I think, a frequent thing for her is Dr. Lin. She has
All them
no,
tentacles.
not like that.
A frequent thing.
She has been trying, so like on an intellectual level, she feels like she gets along with Dr. Lin, right? Like I have the life science, the other stuff as well, and we frequently make like checks together to figure some things out. So what I stop with those faces myself. So I think like how that to me translates to in character though is like a lot of the things they work on together on an intellectual level, like, hey, there's this moss on the wall, her and Dr. Len check it out and investigate it, right? And so frequently she feels a sort of kinship with Dr. Len, but every time she tries to be friendly, she gets pushed away, and she does not know what to deal with that. Like, she really doesn't know. She knows that you're like a private person, and like when you got hurt you were like upset, and she was like, hey, do you need some? And you were like, no, I'm fine. She like thinks that there's a bond there as a coworker, and she at the same time is getting like mixed messages. So I think that a little insight is that she has a lot of that on her mind. I don't know if that was known or not.
If I can respond to that
Please.
in turn for some insight. So like, I've Dr. Len, or at least like me playing him, is very intentionally pushing everyone away when they try to like connect to him, because he had one friend in his life, and that one friend screwed him over and kicked him out of his home planet. So
I did
now
not
he's
think about
like,
that, to be fair.
These people I'm traveling with, like, okay, they seem to be decent enough people, but who knows what's gonna happen if I like let them into my inner sanctum.
That's fair. That is very fair. And I
What
am
about your
curious
boy
to see how
Tetsu?
that comes out.
I have a question for Zaya.
Same thing. Like, Tetsu's a nice guy, but
Fucking betrayed.
That's why you have
hey,
two.
Rim was a
No,
nice guy too.
I have a question for Zaya though, and feel free to not answer or tell me that it doesn't really matter up till now in the story. But I've noticed, granted, it's been because of how the encounters have gone, but I've noticed that Zeha hasn't even really had a chance to be like aggressive towards humanoids. Is that a touchy subject for her? Because like, granted, she like carries guns and stuff, but like, even when you had the orc lady like pointing a gun, you chose to almost mechanically like disable it instead of bring your gun out or like hurt the person, you know?
Yeah.
Which was very cool, I might add.
Okay, so she was trained her whole life with like subtle interpersonal espionage, info gathering, entertainment. So she's had to get into people's heads, basically. Like, to me, that's how I play her. Like, she's been there, and she tries to basically be social combat, right? She's trying to talk and do that kind of stuff. And then she's faced in these situations where she has never been in these situations before. So the first thing with the Kefak, that was like, oh, I'm on an adventuring party, it's a monster. And like, I love how the roles have been playing out, because boom, one shot this thing. Like, this is my first time of like using magic this way, like really like offensively. No problem.
Well, that was a gun, actually. That was like the first time
right,
you
it
were
wasn't
a
super
lethal pistol.
That's true. Yeah, and I know we've kind of played it off where everybody thought it was like totally on purpose, but she was just as surprised by that. But she didn't have any like it took her by surprise because the whole encounter took everybody by surprise. So cool. She's like, oh, okay, I guess this is, I'm okay with it. But that was, I don't really want to do that again. And then the humanoid, like the moments, we haven't had a lot of flat out combat with humanoids where Zeha's in the center of it, like actually having an opportunity to. So we haven't explored it, but I definitely think she's avoiding it. Like, these are people. She's not here to harm people. She, I don't think, has ever thought about killing a humanoid. It's just a matter of how do we get out of the situation alive. A lot of the times now, as combats are getting more and more intense, she's out of her element entirely. And mechanically, I took a level in Envoy. I took a whole level in not increasing my combat abilities at all. So, yeah, there's definitely, it is on purpose. She's definitely not comfortable with harming humanoids, and I actually think that that's gonna come up in the next upcoming sessions with how everybody reacted to her trying to like lie to Tibble. I think that she was like, obviously I'm putting on a show here and all of y'all should definitely know this, and everybody seemed seriously aghast at her for like potentially like leaving him to die in this forest. And I think she's like
He's my
realizing
best friend.
like, the fuck do you guys think of me? And so she's gonna have like that conversation of like, no.
I wouldn't hurt a fly.
Her magic is
something
very
we all would
volatile. I
say.
think it has been really interesting with the rolls that every time that I have tried to do something with like electric shock or like that touch, it has like been insane. So I think she's like in and of herself like, if I focus and do this one moment to like save everybody's lives or something, like it's gonna be intense. Why would I ever do that to another like humanoid like living being?
Right. Okay. Let's keep the popcorn energy going. Throw it to someone else.
Okay. Well, we just talked about Dr. Len, so let's keep going a little bit with that. How did it started? How it's going?
All right. So how it started. So at the beginning, Len's whole like shtick was to try and like beg the Starfinder Society to like get him his medical license back, which, you know, it's like funny, like haha, he doesn't get the medical license back, but the reason he wanted it back was so they could just go back to his home. And since he can't get that, and since like the Tellus Corporation won't like let him back, he's like, he kind of had that like hope, like, hey, maybe my big break's just around the corner, and then like this was it. He's screwed now. Now he has no idea what he's doing. But at the same time, now he's uncovered like, oh, I may be like partially responsible for some horrid virus that turns people into plants or something. And so mixed with this like sadness about his position, he also is like almost reluctantly having to take up this like responsibility to undo the adaptation serum.
How sensitive is he to his responsibility on it? I know we joke, because a lot of our joking is like in and out of character, right? So like, how sensitive is he actually to it?
I don't think he is so sensitive about his responsibility as he is much like resentful of like his past partner in like medical production, Rim, for like screwing him over and then doing this with his life's work, essentially.
So he doesn't actually feel like, oh, I did this. He's just like, how could you take what I've worked on and do this to my stuff?
Yeah, because what Len like was creating was pretty much something that would let Cyphozoans like survive in like hot climate or like cold, because you're freaking jellyfish there. So like the fact that something he spent like 10 years on got like bastardized into like virulent like injection serum that they like test on human subjects, that like I can't say like pisses him off, but it like he's like bothered by this. It like He's resentful of that people would do it, but not so much like vindictive. Because he's not a strong personality. He's not like, I'm gonna kill these like scumbags. Let's go, guys.
Can you, as Varso, see pending circumstances in the future, him trying to, like, him getting a bit more heated about it? Like,
I definitely think so. I think it would probably depend a lot on like interactions with other people and just kind of like opening up out of the shell, I guess.
Right.
For sure.
Metaphorically speaking, because he's an invertebrate, but
And he's literally translucent in some cases.
he actually has a race trait called trans that makes him mildly invisible. Plus 2 to stealth.
Wow.
That'd be useful to use before you get ambushed.
Yeah. By, and also an invisible jellyfish, starfish thing that tries to eat you.
Yeah.
I think that was like
Man,
a
if
brother.
something like that happens, I'll be A-okay.
Okay, that was the like, how was it going? How is it going? Do you have any like projections that you want to see for Dr. Lin, and or that you think like is gonna happen?
So
Take
projections,
that question
like,
however you want.
yeah, just had to think on it for a sec. Projections, like Zeha like mentioned, I like hope to see Len like kind of becoming a stronger like willed force than like kind of reclusive, depressive scientist bro.
A little less flubbery. Gotcha.
And
I mean, maybe we have to
I
adapt
think
you
some-
a backbone. Would that help?
come on, guys, please just put a spine in me, please.
Just absorb a spine into your into the gelatinous form.
And something I've also liked like playing with is the fact that he's like he has a somewhat like loose moral code. Like while he is a doctor, he is willing like to
take
just
his
shoot
hat
people.
off.
Like he's willing to take off the hat. I'm not sure exactly how to express this, but he's willing to stretch his moral code if he deems it necessary, with like kind of loose like willingness to deem it necessary. And I think that will like come into play very shortly because of something that's going to happen. I think.
Dun,
Like-
dun, dun.
What's gonna happen?
I don't even
Is
know what
that-
you're talking about, so I'm ready.
I don't know if it's something I want to like mention because I don't know if Waffles
No.
is kind of keeping it.
You don't
secret.
have to.
Okay, yeah, then lips sealed for now. But I hope to see it like putting emphasis on the fact that Len is kind of morally ambiguous.
And that makes my comment earlier even more interesting, in my opinion. Like where we talked about, I thought you were very lawful because of that like reaction to like, why the heck are we doing this?
I think he started lawful.
Nah, he
sure.
started. He's always been a loose, like neutral good, like
Okay.
kind
A
of
loose
sticking to
cannon
weird
cop.
points of it.
So it's more just that in that moment, you didn't believe that was necessary. Like, why would we do that?
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's
Cool. If-
interesting.
Like
I'm
Len
curious.
wouldn't kill like if he had the like opportunity to like stabilize them, but I feel like
Except that
if
android.
he had to, he would be like, "Oh well, I mean, that's a right." The like 3 needles Len shot into Dana's neck were not
Yeah.
related to the cause of death. Okay?
Okay, Dr. Lin, when you walked in to the belated scene of a bunch of knocked out guards and Tibble, what went through Dr. Lin's head in that moment?
Best friend.
Well, he pretty much panicked and decided to go with the plan. That's why he ran right up to Tibble and went, "Hello, my name is Dr. Ben." Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
he doesn't.
I
handle
remember
pressure
that.
well.
I thought Varso like role played that very well. Like like I saw the panic on Varso's face of like, I don't think this is fully the plan, but hi, my name's Ben.
I definitely felt that too. That kudos to that.
Thank
Can I
you.
also
Alright.
say I love how Dr. Len gets flustered by a compliment? Like any sort of positive feedback immediately gets Dr. Len to blush and like
And I don't
pull
think
back.
it's blushing. I think it's like this is friendship, and I don't now with this insight that you
That's
added,
exactly what it is.
it's like like this is not what I was going for. So no.
Yeah, I was about to say I like it because I think it hits on the friendship thing, and I like it from like the scientific world of like, that's not what you do. Like to another scientist, you're not like, you're super good at this. Woo! Like,
It's not the academic world of compliments, is what you're saying.
basically, yeah. Okay, Barso, shoot it to somebody.
Ooh, I'm gonna go with Carrick.
Boo.
Right.
Tetsu's the best. I don't know what to say.
All right, done. Carrot, shoot it to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, so when I created Tetsu, I was like, hey, this is kind of the character I want to play, like the race and stuff. And then Waffles and I did some home brewing of it and like brainstorming what we wanted to do. But I was like, I don't want to know what I don't want to know. Like, this is kind of what his backstory could be. These 10 different options or shruggies. I don't know. This is what he is now. Let's see what happens. And so, as playing Tetsu, I was like, all right, I think he's going to be. He doesn't really have a huge mission here. Like, he wants to, be in the Starfinder because they're good people, and he's never really been part of like a group of like genuinely decent human beings. And he's like, hey, I can go into the Starfinders, and maybe I can find some people that are also good people. And yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gotten an all, so I'm kind of sus. But there's been a couple of moments throughout this adventure already where Tetsu's like, man, this is not at all what I was hoping for.
Carrick almost retired Tetsu right then and there.
So
with an all, I mean, it could have been.
So I would say most recently, like, we could see your character conflict, like, with the fact that the queen got like taken, and you were like,
For sure.
I have to do this thing or whatever. So that's definitely not the first time, like you said, that Tetsu's had that decision of like, originally I want to be at the Starfinder Society so I can be good, and now look, this is a team of Starfinders that I'm supposed to be doing good for, and we're breaking in and Tibble and taking people out, which is okay. That's good because I like Tibble, and now
that doesn't bother Tetsu. So Tetsu's weird in that there's a big gray area with him. Like, he actually likes people that do illegal shit, but like, he would like if you've ever watched Sons of Anarchy, he would like a lot of those guys in that biker gang that are like, they're bad. They definitely do bad things, but they're in general not terrible human beings.
Sure, they're not evil. They're just do their own thing.
It's almost like the Robin Hood mentality of like, they do bad things for good reasons. Like,
or bad things to bad people, and it's whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yep.
yeah. So Tetsu doesn't, and kind of enjoys like the rugged side of life. That's why, he stayed in the ship when everybody was staying at this nice fancy hotel. That's why he opted for looking out for Crick instead of trying to just go to a hospital to get his upgrades and stuff. Like, he's used to it, and he kind of like, those are his people. So, but at the same time, like, he's trying to get something good out of the Starfinder Society, and kind of with, some of the things we've done, he didn't like leaving the Queen for sure. And because he felt like, hey, I did what I could to help her, but at the same time, like, she's done nothing wrong, and there's no reason she should be in this situation because of shit we're doing.
Right.
So it's kind of our fault, my fault, and so it's he's had a rough time, but and then his Dr. Duro is in a supermax prison, and even though Tetsu's like, I'm not a terrible person, and yeah, sure, I have maybe some weird memories, ? I mean, I'm probably not bad, right? I don't feel bad. And if I was bad, Dr. Duro made me good, so that's great. And then he's like, oh, all right, I might be a mass murdering warlord, but nah, probably not.
I have a go ahead, Eisen.
I was going to ask a question. does Tetsu want Dr. Duro back because of obligation or because of some sort of attachment? Like, why?
He doesn't
is
want
so-
Dr. Duro back.
But like,
He's not.
He just doesn't want Dr. Duro in jail, right? Like,
Well, right. He doesn't want Dr. Duro in jail now that he knows Dr. Duro's in jail. But like Tetsu's whole purpose in finding Dr. Duro was without going like too crazy. Yeah, it's stupid. Like it's not.
Can I
not
say it, or do you want to keep it secret?
No, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. From what I know, and you can correct me, obviously, but from what I know,
probably correct.
Tetsu's main reason for finding Dr. Duro is to say thank you and bye.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
Yes.
Tetsu never really. So back when Tetsu was like fixed, like he was this thing that got fixed. He was better, and like he understood. Like he had sentience. Like it wasn't like he's a robot, but like he didn't really understand everything. Like he hadn't been out in the world. He had just been with Dr. Duro in his like lab, and then he went out, dealt with the shithole that is Absalom's underworld, and also met some good people along the way. But like he's like, Dr. Duro, you made me a good person. I just want to say thanks and to meet you now that I kind of understand me. So thank you. And that's literally all he wanted to do.
It seems surface level, but it's not. Like from everything that you just said.
Right.
Like,
Sure.
I
mean,
good.
It's not deep for sure, but like, I mean, his interaction's not deep, but it comes from a deep place within.
Right.
him.
Like I don't think Tetsu is thinking of it as deep, but it's coming from somewhere. Like exactly what you just said. So another deep hitting question that I have is, we don't really talk about how Tetsu looks all that much. I know that he's part android, but he's a canabo, which is not a very common race at all, and in fact a very fighting one, right?
Typically
like
look hobgoblin-y. If you're gonna confuse like, most Kanobos, it would be with hobgoblins, though they can be other things.
Aren't they specifically the like Japanese inspired
Yeah.
Oni kind of.
Oni, thank you.
That's kind of what hobgoblins are.
Oni and hobgoblins.
Yeah, no, they are. That's
Oni,
their genetics.
Oni are the Japanese inspired creatures, and hobgoblins are kind of like sort of similar.
Like Kanabo is like Oni in Starfinder lore mixed with hobgoblins, right? That's I think.
Yes. I think
it's
so.
Oni mixed with something, usually hobgoblin.
Got it.
Usually
got it.
hobgoblin. Yeah.
Okay, so given that, but that they're like like what Monkbutu was that we found, right? Like they are like a pillaging, like fighting, roving kind of people. So you talk about how you're more comfortable around those that are like willing to, you know, like you didn't go to the hospital, you went to that dude. And
my best friend Crick, yes.
Yeah, Crick, and you stayed on the ship. How much of that is because like, oh yeah, these are my people, and how much of that is like potentially known or unknown to Tetsu, a discomfort of being in a different type of society because he doesn't think he fits?
I don't think it's so much he doesn't think he fits. It might be discomfort, but like it's less of a he knows he's comfortable with it, and like he likes the more rustic side of things, so that's his vibe. And he doesn't try to. He likes the suits, but he did not pick out a suit. It's just what fit being a bodyguard, and
it's what he was told to wear at some point, and now is just what you wear.
Yeah, it was suggested to him to wear suits.
Gotcha.
Because they look better.
He looks dapper, I'm telling you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, NPC. We don't know yet. Thank you for making.
I was about to say, can I slightly spoil that one, or at least give my suggestion? I assume, and this was never decided by me and Carrick, but I assume that was Nira that one day suggested or told him that he looked better in suits, and Tetsu keeps that look.
Yeah, it was decided. I mean, that is what I've always said, is because at the beginning, like I said, all of Tetsu's suits and stuff like have numbers to them. Like he spends a lot of his day, like everything's like numbered, like got like in like little tag in the back is got like a 1, 2, whatever. And like Tetsu spends a lot of his time like on the ship when he's in his room, he's like chatting with people he knows because he can. And Nira is one of them. but like
You
he
still
goes
talk to Nira
shopping
now?
and she picks out his clothes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we got IMs, man. Why not?
No, I didn't know that. That's good
Yeah.
insight.
Yeah.
Space. I don't have to spend ending to just bug
It's
people.
space, dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah. So I would say Moat for next.
Well, how it started is essentially, Moat's been working as a mechanic under a mentor's tutelage for a while. It's just kind of, overachieving in certain areas, yet really feeling, there's more. There's more in the galaxy. There's more in the universe to explore. And back in their earlier days, they had seen all sorts of mentions of stuff and drift and all sorts of crazy technologies that they hadn't seen in a while. So Starfinder Society was a perfect place to really get to explore that kind of stuff. So on the mentor's recommendation, Moat got into the whole thing with the Starfinder Society, and honestly, in Moat's opinion, things are going pretty decently. Like, I mean, dealing with some shitty people and some tough situations has been difficult, but Moat's been generally enjoying it. I mean, the hardest it got for Moat was with the adaptation serum when they got affected by that. And if there's anything that has been like a even close to a character moment for Moat, a realization of any kind, it would be that Moat was sitting there thinking, you know what? I don't even know what I am, but I don't want to be something different. So getting cured from it was still like a big thing. So yeah.
Given
Moat didn't want to be stuck in some sort of changing situation.
For
Moat's
sure.
comfortable in their skin.
you said they don't know what they are. Do they know that they are a gray? Like, in terms
Not
of
really.
Not really. But do they know?
I mean,
we talk about Starfinder lore. And we
Humble
talk.
yourself, bro.
We talk about Starfinder lore, and we talk about how the gray race as a whole is not received very well. Right? Are they aware of that part?
They're aware of that of the way that when they were, I guess, at the point where their memories start, they were just not received well. People were very hesitant to, interact with Moat, and that's why Moat wears the mask, is because people were never wanting to be around Moat. So putting a mask on, wearing clothing, all things different from what any gray typically does in Starfinder lore, because they don't wear anything, they do not emote, they only talk telepathically. But Moat wanted to be comfortable being around others and actually enjoys living in the moment. So being able to just kind of integrate with society is what Moat enjoys. But as far as what they are, they haven't really looked into it. I mean, I'm sure the term gray has been thrown around and Moat may have heard it at some point, but really, Moat isn't that interested in learning more about being a gray, because all of Moat's experience with being what they originally were without being able to express their personality is kind of shitty. Everybody hates it. So Moat doesn't really care. Moat is much more interested in technology and advancement than anything to do with their race in particular.
For
I
sure.
remember distinctly the moment where you had to take your mask off and use it to
House
power to power Grace. And I remember Moat being very like ornery to us as a party when they didn't have the mask on.
Mm-hmm.
So, two-part question. How much of that was because they felt that they couldn't express themselves and it was frustrating, or how much of that was them worrying that we would react badly to them. Does that make sense?
Little A, little B, honestly. Like, obviously, we were still like newly formed as a group at that point, so
Yeah.
Moat has not had experience in years dealing with anybody using their own face, so that's not something they want to experience again. It's kind of the worst when someone hates you for what you look like or what they think you might be like. So there's that. And then not being able to express themselves is also really unfortunate.
Frustrating,
Being
I'm
able to
sure.
talk telepathically is fine, but not
that's
having
yeah, that's individual. That's
the
a one-on-one.
primary form of communication, like that sucks. Moat hates it.
Has that changed at all in terms of the comfortability with the group of like the fact that we know you're a gray and like we still treat you the same and that kind of stuff?
Not necessarily. If Moat was forced to not use the mask, it would still be an ornery Moat. But I mean, that may change at some point. Moat might feel a little bit more comfortable, but that remains to be seen.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, like I know it's been 40 podcast episodes, 20 sessions, but you guys have been together for 2 weeks
maybe.
tops.
Right,
Yeah.
maybe a month with travel.
Yeah, we've had some
think it's
handful
like
of
3
days
weeks.
traveling and then stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
but that's still only a collection of weeks. That puts
Sure.
it in
Yeah.
perspective for
It's
sure.
forever.
Yeah. I mean, you always got that argument of like, it's a long time because we've been in life or death situations. So you got like 3 weeks is still a little more than 3 weeks because you guys are saving each other's lives, but like it's still 3 weeks, you know? Like
Yeah, in terms of like interaction, like life or death situations kind of speeds up certain amounts of trust and communication. So I would say it's like knowing somebody for 2 months, but that's still not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like
Especially
a lot
compared
of-
to. Sorry, go ahead.
a lot of like our time between destinations kind of holed up in our rooms doing something or other. I don't think
Yeah.
there's like a lot of like, hey man, how's it going? What do you want to play some
Yeah.
Smash Bros?
I
Yep.
would like to maybe take the time to designate that a little bit more, because I do think that we have like communal times where we're like in common spaces together at random times, but like that still.
Yeah, at random times, but like I get what Varso's saying is at least I've kind of got the feel of y'all on the ship that everyone just kind of does their own thing. Maybe y'all eat dinner together, but then Dr. Lyn's not eating. Like
Zeha doesn't
it-
eat with y'all either, by the way.
One thing with-
exactly. So like it's a weird. It's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy that like everyone's gonna do their own thing because you all have your own things. Like
One
Hold on, wait,
side
wait.
note about eating. Sorry, I just want to throw it back to you. But I
No,
want
go
to
on.
put this out
That's
there.
what I was gonna say.
I have no idea how Greys eat, so I just
don't have a
assume
mouth,
that
no
Moat-
idea with
I-
Kasatha either.
I think they. I don't know if they have a mouth. Yeah, like I assume like
Why does everybody
Moat just
be a
blends
suppository?
every. I assume Moat just blends
of
the
the
food
world.
and has like a tiny like insert hole just to suck it down through a straw, and that's how Moat drinks everything. And like there was one episode when we were taking drinks and Moat pulled out a straw and drank beer through a straw.
Oh
yeah.
But
Yeah, up
that
to a
didn't
point, I
cut.
think we sat at a bar at the Kasatha
Cursed.
place at on the Adari, and like I was slamming drinks back, but like that is through like she doesn't take her thing off in front of y'all, like because Kasathas cover their mouths in society, and I've
Yeah, she's
looked this
waterboarding
up.
herself with beer.
I'm assuming there's technology. I don't fucking know, man. Also a straw. I don't know, but
I mean, I can definitely
Anti-beer
like
tech.
because Satha culture is not to show your mouth. I can assume technology has come out that allows you to drink through your mask. Like you bring it up to a part in the mask that acts as a mouth, puts it into your mouth, et cetera, et cetera. Like
yeah, like I'm and that's
the
that's
like
where I'm
mask
at.
like opens like a mouth.
it's
with,
like a Bane mask, except it actually siphons liquid.
or like it has a little teleport spell in the straw that just like teleports like the liquid into your system.
And I have like looked at this in depth in forums, by the way, and have not found anything. But
Yeah.
the thing that I've kind of established for myself with Kasatha, which it might come in play, by the way, for like our communal like family meals together and things like that. I'm assuming like if Kasathas don't show their mouths, like maybe family units eat together or something like that. But I'm assuming that the way I kind of like I thought about it is the preparation of food that becomes the family bonding moment, like in Kasatha, like homes. So like you come together and you talk about your day while you're making the meals, and then when the food is ready, whether that's like you have guests or whatever, like that's a private thing potentially. I don't know. I'm trying to see how that would work in that kind of a culture. But so I
How
Oh,
would
was your day, Tetsu? Oh, I just stood around on the ship playing with the foxes. Cool.
so I
Also-
just
All right, bye everybody.
I imagine that she tries to strive for like communication in those moments, at least for her, because that's what she's used to.
For sure.
But anyways, it's not
But
about me.
like at least 3 of the 2 people aren't eating most meals together, so like
me
they're just
and-
sitting there during communal dinner time or not having it.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
Tetsu
Aizen,
and
does
Aizen.
everybody leave because they don't like my food?
I think it's fine.
I will be
think
shoving it up
taste
my
buds.
bum later, so
I walked in on Dr. Len once. He sat on my food. Does that mean he doesn't like it?
If Aizen ever knew that, there'd be at least a couple times where he'd be like, "Can you change the shape of the food?" Like he'd be trying to prank
I want you-
like
I
Dr.
want
Len
this
at
to
least
be-
once with like sharp food. Just
I want
be
this
like,
to be very well known, which is that Varso decided that Dr. Len wears fucking pants, okay?
Yeah.
Because Syphozoans as a regular are just jellyfish and would probably just ingest food in front of people. This is
Yeah.
Varso doing this to
Yeah,
himself.
no. Varso had a very specific image which just speaks to the fragile mind that is within that skull.
yes,
Oh man. Anyways,
Yeah.
this was all part of my plan.
I want
Well, now
butt
I-
food.
yeah, we're just
Making it
isolating
awful.
we're just finding weird ways to isolate ourselves more and more, just like more obtuse ways of isolating ourselves.
I make a character that specifically wants to cook for everybody, and everybody eats in the room sulking.
Well, now I gotta make Coop throw it to somebody. So
Well,
There's one person left.
let's hear how our rock boy is doing.
Rock lobster.
Okay, so where we started, where we are right now, and where we're going, and then like
Yeah.
possible future stuff.
basically, yeah.
So where Aizen started was basically as a servant, right? Like he's a high class military bodyguard for one particular person. And then due to circumstances that we won't get into, he had to get basically political asylum. Due to the fact of a bunch of shimmering political shenanigans, he had to flee the planet, flee everything he knew and loved, and go to the only people that he thought would be even halfway decent to him, which was the Starfinder Society. And then they basically gave him the runaround and made him go through a number of trials to prove his worth, to even get him through the door to have a consultation. Which made him extremely closed off in terms of how he acted and how he treated others. Like, you'll see in that very first session, he said, "I'm a killer. I'm just here to kill things until I can get in the door." Like, that's how he handled himself. And then as time has moved on, I've sort of realized he's much less of a killer than I thought he would be. Like, he's actually very emotionally aware in a way that I wasn't prepared for. That he uses different like insights or his like background as a bodyguard to understand people in a way that I don't think he was even aware that he did on a daily basis otherwise.
Like reading.
I
body
thought that
language,
was your
reading
way of
people.
saying he can't kill things.
No, like that's a different discussion we can have. That he is starting to struggle with the fact that whatever is going on, or what he believes is whatever is going on with his body, has hampered his skills, and the fact that we're coming against like monsters that are above and beyond, and that he can't necessarily face them, makes him feel like he is not holding up his like traditional values as a bodyguard necessarily at all points. and it's just like hammering home his own insecurities as to why he left in the first place. That this is a situation that he can't necessarily handle, and he needs to get whatever is going on with himself personally handled as quickly as possible.
You hear that, Dr.
And
Land?
because-
Quick, now.
Like
I guess I'll put you on the patient list, but I've got a lot of people.
because in many ways it's very interesting, like the way we wrote our characters, because Eisen is very much terrified that like he's going to transform into something like 6 years down the line that's going to be out of his control. Like he doesn't know what's going to happen to him like any span of time. Like he doesn't know if something's going to happen tomorrow, the next day, a month from now, and he's just waiting for that next foot to drop where something happens horrible to him and he loses himself even more.
Eisen is the missing piece to stabilize the adaptation theorem, calling it now.
Like,
Boom!
You have to sacrifice.
Okay, chop him up.
But because of all that insecurity and because of everything he's bottled up, he, especially after, like in my head, he spent 6 months before the campaign started, just trying to get everything together, kind of like figuring out how to get to the society, how everything works. And then we have the month with the party. At this point, 7 months in, he's starting to feel really homesick, right? Like he's starting to crave that connectivity that he had with his homeland that he still loved. Like he didn't leave because things were bad back home. He left because he thought he would make things bad.
Yeah.
I miss Rock World.
I
And
mean,
go back.
it's a very unique world that I'm sure, like, you don't, like, if you grew up, like, in the Adari and you went to Castrovel, right? Okay, well, there's points where you can be like, oh, this reminds me of home. This is water. This is a lake or something like that. You have a very unique homeland that isn't replicatable in any form.
Right.
And
And
it's-
more than that, it's the people that he misses.
It's a
right?
unique
That's why I
society,
wanted
too.
to. Yeah, that's why I wanted to have that dance scene so bad, was because he learned to dance specifically for one person, right? Like, Eisen is very much specifically, like, his whole thing is kind of a love story in many ways. That, like, he misses the people that he loved and that he cared for and that he basically lived with for from the time he was born till the time he left. He had a very specific place in the society and he knew where that was. And he was very comfortable there and he was very, he loved everything about that. And so having that ripped away from him is very much like sent him adrift in many ways. And that's why he pushes so hard on. So you'll notice that he gets very dismissive to Zeha in many little ways, little snippets, little digs. It gets very hard for him to distinguish when Zeha is acting and what he expects of her, because he knew somebody back home who he loves, who he feels does what she does better, right? There is a
Wow.
Those are
Zama,
fighting
how do you feel
words,
about
but
that?
interesting.
Boom.
right, so that's why he. But,
You know,
like,
imagine Zeha, but like good.
but like,
Yeah, you know what? Fuck off.
but he knows that it's like he is aware enough with his own mentality to know that that's rose-colored glasses and that he's projecting that person onto you in some ways, and he doesn't like that.
Is it
but he
just because
can't.
I'm also what it like the high society like I come from that a little bit, like, so there's some.
And your background stories are very similar. Like there's a lot of like, if you were to map each other's tracks, like there'd be
I
a
was
lot
born
of
into
weird
the raised into
that like it all makes, like it all connects things. And then-
so given your homesickness with like everything that you said, that you're been sent adrift and that you're doing this as a form of like a job, I know we just talked about how short of a time frame this really has been, but are you seeing that shift a little bit into like a group dynamic that you have somewhere that you are a part of, or is it not there yet?
He has made connections, and like I said, he is surprisingly well adept at picking up like different emotional cues. Like he's not good at like picking up when someone is happy or sad, but like he understands different emotional things in an interesting way that I wasn't familiar with. So in terms of like the team dynamic itself, he has fit everyone into kind of roles of like, okay, he's the doctor, he's the technician, she's the diplomat, and he's able to like based off of the job roles and how people act, he's kind of said, okay, this person is good at what they do. This is where this person struggles. I can
Isa
help
made
this
a
person
character
that way.
sheet for each of us.
Basically,
It looks vaguely similar to character sheets we all have.
yes. And he is very comfortable with knowing what everyone can do, and so he doesn't feel like he needs to push. Like, he knows if he has a problem, I go to this person. Or like, and so it's not so much a personal dynamic as much more of like a workplace dynamic with connections of like, I like this person. They are quick and they do their job well, and they clearly struggle, so I don't want to like, I want to help them be the best person they can be in that moment, right? Like, but it's not so much personal, like, he wouldn't go home and go drinking necessarily unless it was, well, unless this person calms down, they'll be bad at their job, right? It's
For
that
sure,
kind
for
of
sure.
Except for Tetsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting because Tetsu and Aizen kind of get each other. When Tetsu says something, Aizen almost always, at least internally, agrees with what Tetsu is.
You're
like,
both
Yeah,
muscle.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
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 Like at the end of the day, you're both muscle. Like
Exactly.
You think with the
you're-
same like parameters.
Yeah.
As in meatheads.
All right.
Okay.
We're both
Okay.
protector types.
In
Alright.
terms of where it's going, like where I want to see it go, I'm interested to see what happens when people actually dig into Aizen, right? Because he's very much job oriented, or like he's very cold and very direct in the way that he handles things.
There-
It's hard to
there's
get a
only
shovel in
one
the rock.
person-
Yeah.
There's only one person in this group who's going to dig into Aizen. And that, except Dr. Len might with a chisel, but
Yeah.
only Zeha is going to dig into who Aizen is. Because Tetsu doesn't care about, like, he specifically just cares about, like, actual interactions with people. He doesn't care about anybody's history or their shit. Like,
Can I-
it doesn't matter to him.
Can I ask why you think that? Like, I'm very curious.
Because you, in and out of character, Zeha is always trying to discover, like, understand people, like a specific person. Like,
A lot
you
of
want to
culturals
know,
and-
yeah, you want to know, like, the cultural, like, you're interested in that, whereas, like, I don't see Dr. Len. Dr. Len's the next person I would see maybe digging into it, but I don't think so. Moat might poke around because Moat's curious, but like in more of a superficial fuck around kind of way. I don't know that Moat necessarily cares about the political intrigue stuff. Yeah,
I could
and Tetsu just doesn't. Like, he just
could
cares
see
about
Dr.
how he deals with people.
I could see Dr. Lin doing it if he found out like medical things about Aizen that made him interesting.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree with that.
that's why Dr. Len's my number 2 and would dig into Aizen.
The only
But like,
reason I would do so is if, and this is a little bit sad, and I think this is something that she hasn't realized in herself yet, but I think the only reason I would be digging for anything like that is so that I know how to talk to him, right? To how, in blunt terms, and how to manipulate him. I know what I should like say or do. I know what matters to him so that I can do what needs to be done.
So Zea's a bard.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I think she's only been trained
take Envoy.
to manipulate in her own little way, and she's
For sure.
only been in Ramsem 10 circles where everybody around her was competition. Like, I don't think she knows how to have friends.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what I love about this party. I think each character kind of has their own, like, in my opinion, major downfall. Like, at the end of the day, Zeha is a great character that can do a lot of things. Yet, at the end of the day, she just wants to manipulate people. And she doesn't even know it.
Right.
Like, and each character has that own thing for themselves.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to go into a quick Q&A. I think we got a lot of our questions out during that character thing, so I'm going to ask the question in chat we got from Jim, and then I want to get into some super quick conspiracy theories. I'm going to keep like a timer on this, and then we're going to call it. Question from Jim. I really like it. Was there a sudden clarity moment where you discovered something deep about your character? I'll throw a little addendum onto the end of that where I think the question is going. Where you discovered something deep about your character, like that you didn't really expect to be there. Ready, set. Let's keep it quick. Go, Zaya.
Okay, 100%. When I first built her as a character, I thought she was going to be like, yes, hoity-toity, like oh, I'm the best, I'm amazing, because that's how she was brought up, and I thought that she would be badass all the way through. Like, if that makes sense, like, oh sure, no shit's given, I'm gonna do what I have to do to get this. And she surprised me by I think this was in the lab, when everybody was dying around her and she had to like kill this thing, which was disgusting and totally not like her jam. She did it, she killed him, and she was really shook up afterwards. Like, we didn't fully go into it too much, but she was basically having like a panic attack internally and like froze up and stuff. And that it came very naturally to me. Like it was definitely the next step. Like, she did this is the situation 100%. She wasn't ready for this. Like, I thought she was ready for a lot. I thought she was ready for this mission, and she wasn't ready for that. So that definitely took me by surprise, and it made me realize that she was a big baby inside. Like, she's been groomed to be the best, the next Madaloon. She has to be perfect, and she doesn't even allow herself to see that she is not, that if she's scared or she's not ready, like, she's not allowed to be, and she hasn't allowed herself to be.
I'm going to ask a follow-up question to that. Again, let's try to keep super quick answers, but my wonder to that is so she's obviously brought up to be perfect, like you said. Is the reason that she has allowed herself to see that she isn't perfect is because she is put beside people that are actually good at what they do? Like, so like Tetsu and Aizen are good muscles and killers. Moat is a good hacker. Dr. Glenn's a good medical person. So like, it would be hard for, like, has Zehal realized it's hard for her to be better at everything than everyone because she's been put against good people now?
No. I think this is like, oh, they can do that too. I better brush up on my skill and get even better. Like she's not admitting to herself that she's not the best at that kind of stuff. Like, when it comes to muscle, I think a little bit more. Like, she doesn't want to kill, and therefore she's like, but you know, it's not like, oh yeah, they're better at me than that. It's, I have no interest in that. You know what I mean? Like, that's how she tells herself it anyways. So yeah.
I'm not beneath you.
Let's go, Moat. Same question. Was there a sudden clarity moment where you discovered something deep about your character?
I tried to put that in with mine. So yeah, that the moment of the adaptation serum really taking hold, like, realizing like that Moat actually did care, that they still wanted to be themselves, even though like that what they are is hated by others. Like, that's still Moat. Like,
I thought that was my favorite line that you said, was like, even though they don't know what they are, they want to still be it. They don't want to be something different. I was like,
that's good.
Heck
yeah. So that coming to like light was like, okay, yeah, that kind of solidifies a little bit about more how Moat feels about things. And then I also wasn't exactly sure how Moat would handle not having the mask, so being very touchy about it was also in the moment, yeah, this makes sense.
For sure. All right, Aizen.
Two things. His alignment. I thought he was going to be chaotic good, and he's slowly been rising up the scale of like neutral good towards a little bit more like lawful good to neutral good, which I found surprising. Sure. And the other thing is, I didn't expect him to feel so much guilt. Like, he feels a lot of guilt to letting Moat get grabbed that way and not being able to protect him. And like the same thing with that starfish thing. Like, there's a lot of guilt there of like, I wasn't able to do my job, and that hurts.
I think up until now you've been trained to protect one person, and now all of a sudden you're dealing with a lot more chaos factors.
Right.
Yeah.
And one person that he was raised with, and was able to like know the skills of perfectly. Like they were so in sync in that moment.
Yeah, you can expect
like-
what
Sure.
somebody you've grown up with is going to do in a heated moment. You're like, okay, no, I know that they're gonna go for cover, so I can do this, right? Like, and you don't know what all we're gonna.
Yeah, like not to get too spoilery, but like you literally, for all intents and purposes, grew up, one, bred for a job, two, beside the person that you were supposed to protect. Like you literally grew up like hand in hand with the person you're supposed to protect. So you know everything about them, how they act, and then you're shoved into a group and you got to protect 4 people.
Yeah, exactly.
3 people.
Interesting. It's that you're
4
blaming
people.
yourself too. That's cool. That's good insight.
Okay. Okay.
Boo. That surprised me about Tetsu. I guess I know Tetsu's capable of it, but like having a character that so perfectly kind of epitomizes what Tetsu despises in a person so quickly appear in the campaign. Like Nanal is a perfect person who Tetsu. One thing that like I know about Tetsu is he enjoys fighting. He enjoys like the combat side of things, even though he doesn't like hurting people. He likes the fight. But like Nanal's not anybody who would ever fight, and so he can't do anything about her. And she's a terrible person in his eyes. And
You got immediately
have
put against someone
something
political.
I can't do anything about.
Political,
Yeah.
like all of a sudden politics.
Yeah, like at least with like, and we've seen him a little bit with like, Kaz. Tetsu could do something about it, in a way. Like there's an aspect to it that Tetsu's unable to deal with, but like he could go out in a blaze of glory against Kaz.
Sure.
But against Nanal, he's like, she's not done anything in which I would feel able to go after her.
If I
And,
shoot
like,
her, I'm the
do
bad
harm.
guy.
Yeah,
That's
kind of
what
it,
I was
like-
about. That's what I was about to ask you. At the end of the day, if Tetsu did kill Kaz, he would probably feel justified. But if
he'd have no
tomorrow
problem with it.
if tomorrow in the story he killed Nanal, how would Tetsu feel?
Terrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely terrible. But he would feel worse than terrible because he would also there'd be I think especially now that like I have an idea of what Waffles may be intended for Tetsu's story, Waffles and I would probably have a conversation in which I ask if Tetsu remembers anything. Because he might be like, I enjoyed that. And I hate that I enjoyed that, but maybe I'll enjoy that. Like, who knows? Like,
Oh,
that
like
could
at that
lead
point when
Tetsu
you-
down the Anakin path, you know?
Interesting. Like unlock.
Sure.
Then I go after the younglings and I kill everybody and it'll be great.
We have a
Double
lightsaber
Dragon's
battle.
back,
Back it again.
Double Dragon's
Alright.
back, baby!
We have a good
Dr.
lightsaber
Lin.
battle between us, like on a volcano.
I do, hands down.
You are my
Dr.
brother,
Lin.
Tetsu.
Jellyfish me.
Don't sit on us.
I'd say like on like kind of it's something I was talking about earlier, but really the best thing I can think of is like when Zeha first tried to like get close to like Dr. Len, and I realized like it's not something I had thought of until that moment, like trying to figure out how he'd react. I'd be like, huh, this guy would have major trust issues. Like, no, go away, Zeha. I don't like. And
But he's
I'm
never
a big
and he's
fan
never
of like
said that because he is polite. Like he tries to remain polite but professional, but also push you away.
yeah, exactly. Even though it's very like jaunting.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's
Okay.
simple, but that's how I like. I like realizing stuff about your character after them.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm gonna go through mine real quick for everyone because the second part it says Jim says Space Daddy version of this question. Was there a moment when you saw a character growth moment? I'm gonna go through mine for each character real quick, and I'm just gonna say the moment, not say what I actually think behind it that entails anything.
No, tell us.
For Zeha, it was the shocking grasp on the plant inside the laboratory. For Aizen, I honestly think it was the dance. For Moat, I think it was removing their mask. For Dr. Lin, I think it was getting denied his medical license.
Mm-hmm.
And for Tetsu, I think it was finding out that Dr. Duro was in jail / the Monk Butu thing. I think it was both of those in tandem, like back to back. That, because like if it just becomes the Dr. Duro thing, I think Tetsu's like, nah, he's not in jail. That's not real. But then you get the Monk Butu stuff coming up twice, like back to back within probably a week of game time, and I think it plays a little differently out in Tetsu's head. So those are mine.
I do look forward to Tetsu now that he's on the ship and we're leaving, hubbling a little bit.
For sure.
You gotta imagine
so much hubbling.
that's on the hubble.
Yeah. The top two things I have them down in my notes that I expect to happen, and I've had one in my notes for a long time, is there's like 3 of y'all that have contacts that y'all want to contact out like far away that just hasn't happened yet. And I've just been sitting, I'm waiting.
not me,
All right,
right?
let's go.
It's
No, I don't think you.
No.
I think Zeha actually has 1 to 2.
What's the second one?
You have one from the Sheeran, that was the
Arcana
university.
Yeah.
And then you also had talked about wanting to contact your Starfinder person. Your Starfinder contact, the old man. Old uncle dude.
Oh, right.
Aizen gave Dr. Lin a contact, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Resk.
Dr. Len probably filed that away.
You know, we've been very busy. I've been trying to save the world.
That would have never come
Yeah.
up if it was never mentioned. Probably still won't.
No, I was
Right.
just
It will come up.
This
It's just a matter of Aizen pushing.
Well, right.
this next session.
I know these
Next session.
things, and time is ticking. Haha.
Mm.
Time has passed.
Time has passed. All right, last thing. I know it's very late, but I want to know this from everybody. Let's try to keep it quick. Conspiracies for the future and/or where you think the story is going. I am probably just gonna smile the whole time. I'm not. These aren't questions or anything. I want to hear all of y'all's thoughts on, and it can be anything. Pick something if you like. If it can be the entire story, adaptation, serum, and
Barca's got
everything.
it.
Yeah, or it can be like, I think Ninal is doing this. I think Daer is doing this. I think the Ramson 10. I think Dr. Duro is blah, blah, blah. Just pick one thing and decide where you think it's going. I'm going to go backwards this time. Dr. Lin.
Nice. So I think my first conspiracy is I think that that Nenal is like working with the Vest stuff. I really don't know what's going on with like the Skittermander and Vest, but I think Nenal's part of that. My second one is that Volga is the chairwoman of Telus Corporation. I'm calling it now.
The chairman of the Telus Corporation. All right.
Wait, who? I didn't
Volga.
Lena.
Oh yeah. I was like,
For
would be
anyone that
amazing.
doesn't know that, it's our Time Has Passed campaign. Feel
I
free to
deep
go
catch.
listen and find out who Volga Lena is.
Shout out to you, Bree. Shout out to you.
Yep. Shout out to
we
Bruce.
love you.
Volga Lena was a PC. You'll have to figure that out yourself.
I mean, you can also look at
hypothetically-
our MS Paint stories.
That's true.
Hypothetically, if this is true, we got to try to get Bree to just come back for one BBEG session
Oh
to
my
kill us all.
god.
I hope so.
That'd
Hypothetically,
be
if it's true.
amazing.
All right. Still going backwards. Carrot.
I didn't expect me.
Hospitic, my name.
Yeah, as much as I would love Nanal to be exactly what Varso said, 20% of me thinks so, but I don't think so, and it really upsets me so much. I think she's kind of what we are presented as, just like a douchey person, kind of on our side. But I do think, there's some. What was it? I mean, obviously, CosCon and them have been working together. I think Cos is going to be like our first like BBEG that we take on. I think that's probably going to be our first like super fight. Is taking down that group because I think they're kind of like the dumb muscle, and we're not dumb muscle because Kaz is not dumb muscle, but he's got a lot of dumb muscle under him. And the Vesk and them work for Kaz, and they might be kind of like a special team that Kaz doesn't really control, but like is working with. And so I think the Vesk and them are going to be reoccurring bad guys that if we don't, we maybe will kill them, but like I think that's one of the ones where Waffles is hoping we have a lot of fights with them and they keep getting away just enough. And so you can keep pulling them out every time. So we could just flex on them every couple of months.
I think
just be like, we're this fucking badass.
I think at most it's one more time. I think that we're due for a altercation with them. With the Skittermander.
I think we're due for an altercation, but I think that Skittermander's gonna fuck us again.
That's why we gotta focus.
You know
the
what?
Skittermander.
No. I hear you.
I know we do, but still.
We have the next meetup is definitely a full-fledged altercation. That's what I think.
Right. Yes, I agree. I think the next one's most certainly a full-fledged. I mean, I think this one was meant to be, but like we noped out of there in a good way. Like we did well in noping out of there. Yeah. But like, because Waffles, I fully expected was thinking this was going to be a fight. But yeah, so I think Waffles has another one planned at some point in the future, and he's hoping that he's able to get them away. Like it's not critical that they do, but I think he wants them to real bad.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's all based on dice rolls. All right, still going backwards, Eisen.
Okay, so I have two conspiracy theories. One, Grace is not actually an AI. She's some sort of like encapsulated intelligence of some other kind.
I'm pretty sure that's fact.
It's always Bolga.
I don't even think that's a conspiracy theory. I think that's fact.
Like a deity or something, like in a box.
It's
that
canonical.
gets somehow like trapped.
It's
like
Sarenrae.
No, this one's way too smart.
It's Sarenrae.
Which is why I'm going to be really interested to see what happens with the information that Eisen put in the box before we left to do the Casterval stuff. It's going to be very interesting.
Oh, creepy too.
Stuff.
Eisen did give Grace a little birdie.
Here's the USB stick.
Here,
USB
enjoy.
and chill.
It wasn't like that. It was we're sticking you in a box in a wall where you'll be isolated for days, and I think you might be somewhat intelligent.
This is an ancient AI that has slumbered aeons away, okay? You put a USB stick in with your baby pictures.
Yeah.
Chill out, man.
Regardless, my second theory, and I think the more interesting one, I think the Adari is going to turn out to be one of the BBEGs. Like
probably.
The entire Adari is going to turn against us at some point, and it's going to be.
I don't think the entire. I think a chunk of it. I think we're going to have to kill off like half of Zeha's people.
It's going to be
no.
interesting.
Mass genocide. All right.
Not.
All right.
Coop.
Ironically, for me, both things kind of coincide with what Mystic was just saying. Just since it was the last one, the Adari, like when we were getting lore about that, like we got lore that said that, or Moat specifically got lore that said that originally the Kasatha were planning on taking over Akiton, but because of the time it took, technology had advanced far enough in Akiton where it wouldn't be like an easy thing for them. But I still think there's some level of they want to take over something, and if it happens to be Akiton or another planet, that might happen at some point. So we might have some.
Clarify, that is Starfinder lore. Just so you know.
Right.
Okay. Like
yeah,
that
but
is
Waffles totally hijacked it.
That doesn't matter that it's Starfinder lore. Like I don't want y'all to latch on to like it's Starfinder lore, it's Waffles lore. What I will say that like everyone would know as characters, and this isn't to dissuade any kind of conspiracy theories because obviously shit can go down, but the Pact Worlds it's a pact, and the Adari is part of it as a planet basically. Like, and so like if the Adari attacks somebody in the Pact Worlds, it is assumed or known that every other person of the Pact would attack the Adari.
No, it's obvious they're working with the Telos Corporation. But second conspiracy theory is with Grace. Grace is DOW tech.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, that makes real quick. Coop, you got my hopes up because I just thought of this. I'm hoping Nanal, it's raised to 40% Nanal is a bad guy, because I think Nanal is over there plotting with them to do what you were saying, like take over a planet, because she's like, yo, I got this adaptation serum. Let's use it on this planet and take it over.
Right, there's
And
definitely
that's the
a
plan.
thing
That
there.
was the meeting. You
Yeah,
know?
there's definitely a thing there.
Nanal is
Alright.
the hooded figure.
That would be
Like
so
I said,
satisfying
Lena.
on every.
I think
Like
it's
I said,
Zeha's
it's Lena.
mom specifically who's the problem. So we'll just have to
Yeah,
remove...
let's kill
Yeah.
Zeha's mom.
Reminder to everyone listening: the Lena DOW hooded figure stuff, all from Time Has Passed. The reason it's coming up is because
Waffles.
It's canonical.
Grace is
yeah,
pre-gap.
spoilers for Time Has Passed, but yeah, one Grace's pre-gap, and two at the end of Time Has Passed. They basically caused the gap. All right.
Whoops.
Kind of.
Zeha.
Yeah.
Okay, so to jump on the Grace bandwagon, I also 100% believe she's not just AI. If she's pre-gap technology, I think that she is... I think what makes the most sense is tied to religion in some way, because of like all the amount of changes that occurred. So I think there's something in there that's more than just an AI, and that it's like blocked or hacked or needs to be unlocked. So I think half the stuff that we're doing is to unlock extra components of Grace. Like that's what I think. Two, as much as I joke and hate on Deratuma, my theory, because the most recent lore drop that we got was Nanal messaging Daer and somebody else, if I recall.
Oh yeah.
So I think that Daer is involved and in way over her head. So I don't think Daer is like being a villain here at all. I think she is being manipulated. Like she's just like, hey, you want your chance at success and stuff like that? You wanna beat Zeha? Like, do this for me. So I think she's just being used by Nanal. So Nanal is sus as fuck. I think that there's, now that you know, there's somebody on the council, on the Rumsen 10 council, who is Starfinder. I think all of that has something to do with my grandmother.
All right.
Your grandma was killed in a plot to take over the Eldari, to send them on a great
To
crusade for a planet to
steal
use
the adaptation theorem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do we
To
actually know about her?
Mikhail.
Like we
got
joke she's
murdered by
the
an
opera
assassin.
singer from The Fifth Element, but what is like her actual terms of her death? Was it like a mysterious thing, or was it actually full Fifth Element?
She
Like-
got Russianed.
So her
Food poisoning
death,
from
publicly
Herathos.
known, was a tragic death, way too young. It was deemed an accident, as far as I know. But was it
Sus.
during a performance, or was it? It was during a performance. What happened?
Yeah, so full Fifth Element then.
Well,
Yeah.
It was a accident during a performance. It
Heart
was
attack?
no, it was not natural causes. It was deemed in the news an almost unknown act of terrorism. Basically, like how it is the building collapsed. Like, we don't know how. Like, we didn't even find a bomb, but this building isn't supposed to collapse at this time. We built it 5 years ago. Like,
it
blah
was
blah blah.
tragic
Right,
because
yeah,
the
yeah.
famous
Oh, so
entertainer
definitely
Diva was-
murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
You could just
Murdered.
underline was murdered.
Yeah, murdered, but deemed a tragic accident because they don't have a suspect.
Yeah.
Like,
No
and
evidence.
You don't just say murdered and
That's
then
I have a suspect, Waffles.
it was Nanal.
No, it was cause.
No, my new theory: Nanal killed my grandmother.
Nanal,
reason why is my grandmother's
helped
dead.
stage it
Yeah,
Yeah.
on behalf of the Eldari Council, who wanted to get rid of your council,
No.
who was way too sus.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. This one's I'm only asking this because I know it's going to be super quick, and Syrup brought it up. Because I
Hey,
don't.
no.
Either you guys have an answer or you don't. at the end of the Nanal flashback when she messaged Deartuma and the letter B popped up. Does anybody think they know who that is?
I was scavenging my notes.
I don't think so.
Oh, God.
Oh, except for maybe the black butterfly, right? Like we knew it.
One.
Which one?
Be that.
Black
Uh,
butterfly.
Black butterfly.
Okay.
Bitch. She was like, bitch, what's up?
Deartuma BC'd bitch. All right, gotcha.
What was the actual note she sent? I don't.
Wait, she
Let me-
CC'd the bees?
I don't think you ever told us what
Yes.
was written there. I think it was like
Yeah, I didn't. I'll
No,
pull
you
it up real quick because I
faded
have
out.
it.
yeah she
Yeah, as the camera begins zooming out, we see the name Deartuma CC, some word that starts with the letter B, but it's blurred.
And we know specific. Like, is it blurred in a way that like we don't know if it's more words? Like, it could be black butterfly, or if it's just like.
It's definitely not just the letter B.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
Thanks, Waffles. We figured that.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I think black butterfly is a good guess.
Yeah, that's.
It is a good guess.
So I have all of the council. Is the Barathu, by the way, but that's just a race.
That's a race.
I have the Council of the Ramsam-Tem listed here. None of them
What?
start with a B.
What's the
Yeah,
name
Jim-
of your,
Jim makes a
your,
good point.
Jim said bin, comma, a drill. I like it.
Look, what is
There's
Len's
a,
buddy's name?
What's Len's buddy's name?
Rim.
Rim.
Rim,
yeah.
Rim something
Yeah.
something.
There's a
Dark side.
Barnaba or Barnaby or something like that. The male Riparian from the Click Clack Club. That's the only other B that I've got in my notes.
Okay.
I
What's
did
the name
not
of the
put
orc?
that down. I know that much.
Hold on.
I don't think we ever
Orc
heard of
lady, I
him.
think.
No, you guys know it. Hold on. It's Shinhil,
Inhale.
I will keep calling her Orc Lady.
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
Persistent but terrible. Yes.
The mill called her Shinhil, like out in the open. At least the people in the back room would know she's Shinhil.
And by the way, Mel,
I thought
for all
I
of
just
you all,
heard
is
Mel.
the Farron because we only called
Yeah.
him the Farron for a very long time.
Yes. Yep. Mel is the fair.
I
very
knew Mel's
insensitive.
name. I don't think I ever picked up on the orc's name. I thought it was reversed where they said the Mel's name but never said whatever.
The
For sure,
only
for
other
sure.
B I could think of would be someone from that other flashback where they had that like shadow council before the orc
Okay.
lady attacked us.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I don't know anybody.
I know who it
there.
is.
Who?
It's Dr. Ben.
The already.
That's what I was
Yeah.
like thinking. You know.
God damn it, Varso.
Hey, Waffles, what is
Utu.
my father's name?
That's your.
Okay, what's her
I'm
daddy's
gonna,
name?
I'm gonna make my father's name and it's gonna start with a B.
That probably
Dinosaur.
ensures that it's him.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Since I
Thank you for-
didn't know it started with a B.
Confirmed. You heard it here first.
Yep.
All right. All right, friends.
All right.
I think it's time we set up another giveaway
I
for
think
y'all
so.
because you have been absolutely amazing and hanging out with us, and we super appreciate it. Hearing us rambling about this amazing show. It was, in my opinion, super fun to learn all about, like a little bit more insight into everybody's characters and like have some time to explore that a little bit. So you can expect that we're going to continue to do that at the end of each arc. So a reminder to, first of all, next Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, is going to be the start of Arc 2. It's going to be our episode or session 21, episode 41 and 42. I'm really excited for it because we're going to start off with level 4 and all sorts of fun stuff as we continue back into things. So I think you should tell your friends that we're starting Arc 2.
Waffles, can you send the scripts?
Yeah, I'll get those scripts out.
Didn't you get one, Carrick? We got all
let's see if
ours.
I got
let's see if
told
syrup
get
shuts-
good.
Let's see if syrup
Well,
shuts me down for this. I'm gonna say it very slowly. I also think, in relation to tonight, for next week, we will also be doing a giveaway.
What? Yes.
So little teaser for just the Twitch people that are here. So
Yes. Yeah. So we're gonna try to pump up next session as well because it's the start of Arc 2 and we think it's super exciting stuff. So like I said, tell your friends and come hang out with us next Tuesday. Or if you can't make it live, that's totally cool because we put this on YouTube and of course our lovely podcast with which Waffles does a lot of work for and makes us sound freaking amazing. And during our road trip, we totally listened to our own episodes.
Yo, I GM I prep it. I am obviously in the streams. I audio edit the podcast, and then I usually listen to like every other episode of the podcast because I think it sounds. It's a different show. Like no joke, the podcast is a different show.
It's really good. Our players should listen to us because I think we're awesome. But anyways, here's the deal. This time the
I can't
giveaway.
stand Varsa though.
The giveaway this time around is for the lovely Starfinder beer koozie and bottle opener. So. Together, yeah, one giveaway, get both those things. So obviously the keyword to enter this giveaway, enter it once, not twice, not 3 times, once. Space beer. One word. Space beer, one word. Because
Space beer, one word.
I mean, it's Starfinder. Why would you do that, Garrick?
Oh,
That's
whoops.
not real.
Did that not go public?
Oh.
Or did that go public? Whoops.
Whoops. Keone, I hope you get it now. I want Keone to win this just because of Carrick.
I did that to subtle give the vibe so that like the planets align to give Keone whatever.
Sure.
What I'm pretending.
So don't forget, space beer, one word, and there you go.
There we go. We got one.
And yeah, so while we wait for that, as always, stick around because we will go ahead and raid somebody within the community. I realized I never told our wild move story, so that'll happen at some point on Twitter or something. Hi, Bubby.
Gotta say, it was more wild than I expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the moving was crazy.
But yeah,
Space bear.
Space bear. That's not it, by some.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Keone.
That's my backup.
Yeah. All right. I got one other question while we're waiting on space beers to get entered.
Sure. Yeah.
Super quick again. Don't elaborate on it. So far, what has been your favorite, like, not moment, but thing that has happened? Thing can be like anything from I met Tibble to we had a fucking masquerade party. Like what has been your favorite thing that has happened in Arc 1? Ready? I'm not even going to call on people. Little chaos energy. You guys can just talk about it. Should be a couple of words.
I don't know if it's like my favorite thing, but like one thing I really liked was
already failed.
well, no, it's just what comes to mind. It was like the fight with the orc lady in the spaceship, like how we did a good job handling it. She just turned around and left.
For sure.
Like it felt good to win an encounter smoothly for one.
Yeah,
That wasn't
without
even a
like
win. That was
without
like
actually
embarrassing.
like taking her out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was an interesting one. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of on that back, like I enjoyed Len and Tetsu fighting for their goddamn life in that hallway.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
That
was
was
good.
Yeah.
great.
That was fun to be in. Like
To me,
Len and I were just like,
yeah. The
Edge
whole
of death, like
yeah. Like I know Waffles is like this too. I always like when I'm just barely. I should not be alive.
Yeah.
Like I always like when you get out of a fight like that. Like Grizz fighting the elevator. Perfect
Yeah.
example.
Yeah. I think I liked the Silver Drake because it was a taste of everything, honestly. Like we went in there going diplomacy, we had combat, we had party split, we had tactics, we had like everybody going everywhere, out the window, lies, fighting for your life. It was wild
Sure.
in every way. I think it was awesome.
There were 3 different stories going on in that one scene.
Yeah.
Four
no,
in
it
some
was
cases.
awesome.
Yeah.
Mode outside doing stealth ninja stuff. You guys being like
The
I
invisible
spy, and
people
the
on
2
the
of us
roof?
like
What
Yeah, I
the
was about to
fuck?
say not
Well,
not to interrupt anybody's like favorite thing here, but do people want to know what the invisible people on the roof?
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
you were
Okay.
with.
Definitely.
It's not a spoiler. I guess kind of like it can allow y'all to draw some like surmises, like what y'all think is happening. They were spells. They were illusions.
invisible.
They never
illusions?
moved once. They were literally they didn't move. They
That's one
appeared
way
at
they were supposed
a
to-
random time. They were basically like equivalent to a major image.
Mhm.
But
They were
wait,
trying
I
to
thought they were
distract us
invisible.
from doing
I thought there
stuff.
wasn't actually anything there.
They were very shimmery. Yeah, they were illusions to be
They-
like, and like they were made illusions to be invisible, to look like invisible people on
Right.
the roof.
Right.
It was a very
They-
good perception
They
check.
weren't
and then
supposed to
y'all
be
saw 'em.
obvious.
Right.
Okay.
They were meant to be caught by somebody who is looking for something to catch.
Exactly.
Interesting. Okay, cool. All right, friends. I mean, if that's everybody that wants to enter tonight,
Nope.
we shall go ahead and draw that. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna second.
Oh, wait,
Yeah. My favorite moment was actually walking away from you two fighting. Like the act of in the Silver Drake actively saying I'm not going to fight and like ignoring that whole thing as like
Right.
Zeha shot me.
yeah.
Nope.
Like
No, I didn't. I tried to
what
stop
I
the orc
remember.
lady from shooting you, and she shot you anyways.
right, your finger slipped. That's all.
No.
Sure.
No. I tried to stop
Accidentally
her.
slipped.
It was a strength check against strength check.
Whoops.
Right, you tried to stop her and then your finger
Ah.
slipped, which didn't stop her.
All right, and then Mo, you got a favorite part?
I like schmoozing the nobles into getting access into the
I
emissary
enjoyed that
building.
too. I enjoyed that for the fact of what I think is going to come in the future from that.
Oh.
Putting
Oh,
the
yeah.
reporting on the news.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Hal
yeah.
basically has
I'm
a
excited for that.
YouTube channel now. Like,
You may
Mo,
have zero
but you-
followers, but after you post this video,
Yeah.
Moat, 100% though, like you as the player, I guarantee you were just thinking, I would really love to have a drone right about now, just go outside, out back with. So just, I wanted to in that moment, I just wanted a drone to just zoom around the backyard.
Oh yeah, no, I've wanted to have a FOV drone, FOV, a drone that I can use goggles to see through the camera on and like have the first person view of flying it. Like I've wanted to have one of those for years, but I just haven't gone through the process to.
You
Build one.
described it a little
Yeah.
too keenly to not have wanted
It was
to
too
do that.
personal to not want to.
Yeah, there was a deep depth of want.
some coop leaked in there.
I have a quick
Yeah.
question for you, Waffles. It should be super
Okay.
fast.
Last one.
Arvin contacted us at the end of that mission pretty darn quickly before we even left the planet. And he
Yeah.
seemingly knew what we did. How did he do that?
Should I say this or not? I mean, it's going to come out next session, so yes, I'll say it. While Castroville is a secret thing, one, he's a Starfinder. Two, news and live broadcast are a thing. If you remember correctly, he says, I don't imagine it went like quote unquote swimmingly, but I think you got the job done. He didn't say the queen got taken. Like he doesn't know, like for all intents and purposes, you can assume your character's can assume he doesn't know exactly what happened.
It's not
He
like
just
he
knows
followed us. He just saw
Yeah,
news of
he just knows
chaos.
something went down.
Right, okay.
Something went down on Casterville, and he knows you guys are there. Like,
Okay,
Right.
yeah.